I'll figure out a way to make a logo, and we'll just go from there. We'll just backlog it, and we'll dress it up later.
Yeah, all right. I'm started for real this time.
Oh,
Yeah,
ice cream day. What's that?
I just, no big deal. I just didn't update anything for the Twitch part. Don't worry about it.
Lazy bitch.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
You got your Armenian earpiece coming in.
Not. Yeah, no, I know. I was like, oh my god, what if this shit is like fucking same day? Oh, like I'm gonna be looking like a fucking asshole.
It's not as much as I would like it to be awful. Those ones were either very expensive or very poor quality. So I
No,
tried.
dog. This is Bluetooth wireless, right? Because I can't. I don't even have a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
porthole in my phone. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's the reason I bought it is because it's a purpose built product. It's made for truckers.
Oh, for calls.
Yeah, so it's made to like so it it should kind of prevent all any like echoing and like extraneous noise from filtering in.
Right.
And it's got some pretty long battery life. Like it doesn't it's only got like 8 to 9 hours of talk time. But
Well, we're never gonna talk for fucking 9 hours straight.
yeah, but like it holds a charge for a really long time.
Right.
So like even if you
Yeah.
forget to charge it, it's not really a problem. But
Right. Yeah, that
regardless,
works. I'm excited, and to
I'm
start looking like a fucking telemarketer that's scamming old people.
exactly. I mean, hell, that can be your side hustle.
I know,
You're in the right area. Uh,
right? Your grandson is in jail.
yeah. It send
It
me
needs bail money.
send me a Target gift card.
Yeah. It's hard to get a card to get him out of jail.
No, it's like, look, I'm not saying our legal system has it all figured out and put together, but that's not how this works.
No, dog. No, they sell a lot of shit at Target. That shit is valuable.
It
Home
wouldn't
goods. You get some threads. Go
it,
get a TV, some fucking headphones. You get a lot of shit.
bail your grandson out. Yeah, if Target started selling bail bonds, I wouldn't be shocked by any stretch of the imagination.
No, 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 not at all.
But
Well, the only reason
I
brought
know that
that
they
up,
don't.
yeah, I know they don't. Well, the only reason I brought that up is even a joke is because I don't know if I told you about this or said it before.
Oh
Fuck,
yeah, no,
this is
it
my
literally
but
happened.
yeah, yeah, it literally happened to my grandmother, and like, sadly, it's probably mostly my fault, but I've had really little um contact with my grandmother. Hold on a second.
And she was
I
like,
got
yeah.
somebody at the door.
And she was like, yeah, this seems
Hold on.
likely.
Oh,
Yeah, I got you.
Carrie. Okay, I got somebody at the door.
Yeah, but it's like her opinion was, yeah, this seems possible. This seems like it could happen. Uh, Also, the title of this dishwasher cast is my mom is coming to pick me up because we're going to get a dishwasher and she has a SUV. So uh, that's why this might be super long, but we'll see. And him being gone leaves me an opportunity to think about what the fuck we're even gonna talk about. So that oh, and I can reference the fact. So in the background of most of these, I have games going. You probably could hear me
And
clicking.
I'm back.
Yeah. All of this is
You hear me?
yeah, yeah,
Mike, check,
yeah.
check, check, check.
I got you. All of this is live gameplay. I just am barely paying attention to it because I have ADD and I need to do something with my hands.
We had somebody called. But here, they didn't say your grandson's in prison. they were telling her that they were acting as me.
No,
And she didn't know what to do, and she was freaking out. And just luckily, she either called or like Ma Shelly, who was like the fucking coolest person on the goddamn planet. And luckily, she was like, "Wait a second." And she called me. I picked up, I'm like, "What's up, girl?" And she's like, "So I take it you're not in jail?"
and you're like,
I'm
what the
like,
fuck are we talking
I'm like, "What
about?
the fuck are you even talking about right now?" And then she told me, and yeah, they tried to scam my grandmother of like 2K that she doesn't have.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the old Cuban woman isn't balling out of control?
Oh no,
Wacky.
this is the white one. The Cuban
Oh,
one is dead.
uh, un-
You, thank you for bringing it up. You fucking insensitive prick.
yeah, no problem. I mean, I do love when Cubans die, so it made my day.
Rest in peace, Joella. She was great, sweetheart. Don't listen to this evil white man. He doesn't know what he's
Don't listen to this evil gringo.
doing.
It's his forefathers. They did this to us.
I mean,
He's not even sorry about it.
he's not at all. He's evil. But yeah, no, that should have happened, man. So now I'm gonna look like the same cat, just sitting back trying to scam old ladies for 2K.
Yeah. It's, so living the dream.
Yeah, you know. Thank you, and you've set me down on this path.
Yeah,
My best friend.
no problem.
I'm gonna scam them.
Yeah. All right.
We scam him. We steal it. It's crime time.
Yeah, it's crime time. Ooh, he's stealing.
Ooh, he's stealing. Oh, that's funny.
Jesus.
Oh,
But so we have for all the shit that we've talked about, we haven't talked about the new hotness, which is Drake and Kendrick Lamar going for each other, which is
all right. Before we talk about this clown shit show,
yeah,
this clown shoot show of a rap battle, I do want to say right before you're like, "Yo, do you have a little bit to talk?"
yeah.
I just started up. I've listened to 2 fucking tracks of it, and so far, I am already really, really excited. But Ghostface Killer dropped a new album,
Oh shit, yeah.
and I mean, he is nasty. I mean, everybody knows my love for Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah.
but I gotta say, I've listened to 2 tracks, still got it.
Go
Like all the youths out there, you need to listen to this album and realize what hip hop is. That's all I'm saying.
Realize
I've only heard 2 songs.
got that
Anyway,
good
yeah,
shit. Well,
anyway, it's that good. I think it's that good. But please proceed.
so I don't know how much you know about this, but I mean, the funniest thing to me is that like people are acting like Kendrick was playing like 4D chess throughout this whole thing, and it's like no, he just like used basic reasoning. And from everything I've seen about Kendrick, he would probably agree with that statement of being like, yeah, it didn't take a lot to outsmart Drake. Uh, so like,
Yeah, I mean, this is like I listened to 2 diss tracks. I thought Drake's sucked,
yeah,
frankly.
it's obvious.
I forgot which the title track is, but like, and I don't hate Drake or anything. Like
I do.
The ass end, like the ass end of me, like actually, I guess my era of hip hop probably like 2014, 15 ish, where I kind of went, all the old heads kind of stopped producing new shit, and I wasn't really interested.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna listen, I'm just gonna listen to the catalog, like the playlist of fucking like 450 hip hop songs that I just put on shuffle on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Yeah.
And listen to what I want to listen to because I wasn't really feeling it anymore. And but Drake had a couple tracks that I was down with, but most of them were like features, like the Lil Wayne and shit.
Yeah.
So I didn't like hate the guy. I just didn't think. And then like I don't know, he's like this weird like meld of like shit that I used to listen to, but he was like at the ass end, but he's kept going. So I'm unfamiliar with a lot of his fucking music, which I don't know if it's complete trash or not. But.
Well, I'm like, here's what I'm happiest about when it comes to this whole thing is that, you know, I, I am I am white as fucking snow, and and obviously I am not down with the with the culture, but he always seemed like I couldn't believe how accepted he was by the rap community and black people because like me as a white person, I'm like, yo, this guy is fake as fuck. Like
Yes, of course. Well, it's really hard to talk about shooting people when before your rap career and anybody even knew your name, you were on fucking Degrassi,
yeah,
bro.
it's like
Like
started from the bottom. It's like, dude, do you think the bottom is being on Canadian
Degrassi.
television? It's like, you don't know.
Like
It's like, dude, me, growing up low middle class in the suburbs, I am more street than you. like,
I hate to break it to you, but as a white person in the suburbs, you're the reason hip hop is what it is.
yeah, I mean, well, that's
Like,
just,
I mean, back in the day, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you know, the most of those album sales came from white kids and stuff.
yeah, I mean,
Like, let's be honest.
hip hop is a big deal. Like, as weird and kind of, it does seem a little racist, and like as weird as it is, it's like hip hop matters because middle class white people embraced it. Like that's
Well, that's because it's fucking great.
yeah. I mean,
Like a
yeah,
lot of it is fucking great.
yeah,
Like yeah, no, I understand. It sounds racist, but it's just that's just cold facts, man.
yeah,
That's where most of the album sales go.
yeah. And
Like, I mean, that's just where they come from.
it's like, look, it's not. You know, I think Eminem is great, and I think a lot of people would agree that he's like one of the best MCs ever. But that being said, it's like let's not pretend like he didn't get his fame because he was a really good rapper and he was white, which is what the audience wanted at the time. So
Well,
it, it
I mean, you have to like M is like the curious case of Eminem because to me, I think M is just he's just a transcendent talent in the creativity and the flipping of the words and I
yeah,
mean making shit rhyme that doesn't even fucking rhyme and taking this like you know don't get me wrong I you know a lot of hip hop is you know 90s hip hop there's a lot of fucking money cash hose shit and then you have this you know you have this white boy who is absolute demon on the fucking mic, and
rapping about
and
meth
he's
and shit.
yeah, rapping about meth and white trash and other shit. It was fucking a genius take of not trying to hide who the fuck he was,
yeah,
like and like his history and just being like this, you know. I guess you can call it shock rap, but it's so much more than
no, yeah,
like to me, like the skill with him, and then you have somebody like Dr. Dre, like that signed him. It's it. I'm sorry, it's instant credibility.
yeah.
Like it's instant credibility. It's like, well, fucking. I mean, come on. Like, let's be honest. The Chronic and the Chronic 2001 are two of the best fucking hip hop albums ever made,
Yeah.
and he produced both of them. So for me, it was instant credibility.
Well,
And
and then even if you like don't agree with how good they are, you have to agree with how important they are. Like it, even people that don't like that album, which I think you're insane if you don't, but even people that don't like that album have to be like, yeah, but it's massively important for hip hop.
look, man, the white boy is nasty. I hate to say he's gross. You don't want to fuck with him.
No,
You do not want to fuck with Eminem. He will eat your lunch. He's just that guy. White, black, fucking brown. Who gives a fuck? The guy is just nice.
yeah.
But like,
The
I mean,
nastiest
I'm not.
battle rapper of all time, and people keep stepping to him and get their careers destroyed.
You know, I mean, I mean, yes, he's all. I've listened. I was a big Eminem fan. I mean, Marshall Mathers LP is like the other day when I was talking about if I had to go to a desert island, only take 5 albums with me. Marshall Mathers LP, that is locked, loaded, 100% coming.
Yeah.
The other four, I might have to think about. I listened. I had a paper route when that fucking album came out. I listened to it basically from beginning to end every night for almost a year. I liked it that much. Like that album is fucking sick,
Yeah.
and it. I mean, just the like, just go listen. You know what? You want a perfect example of like. I know other people might call my bullshit. I'm sure it's not his best verse, but go look up uh, Notorious B.I.G. Born Again,
Hmm.
like that album, like the posthumous album
Yeah.
came out before he died. M is on a track called Dead Wrong. It is a super raw, fucking kind of violent track,
Hmm.
and Biggie holds most of it. And all of a sudden, M comes in on the I believe it's the last verse. It's to me, I think it's fucking insane and incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? Like, and that's why like you don't want like people don't have Eminem on their albums for a fucking reason. And if you do, guys, stop, make him go first or be in the middle. And then if it is your album, you should go last
Yeah.
because everybody puts everybody that features M, the last thing, the last verse on that album is fucking Eminem. And he is probably gonna like it like the song Renegade with Jay-Z. It's a totally fine song. It's not the original. The original Renegades was with him and a superior rapper to Jay-Z. His name is Royce the 5'9".
And
That was the original. They
and
took
and Royster
they
5'9" is probably smart enough to never step out on Beyonce like that dumb animal did.
no, oh no, Royce is disgusting. If you don't know who Royce the 5'9" is, go
Yeah.
fucking educate
Yeah.
yourself. Royce is gross. Like he is, like just really, really fucking talented. And God forbid, Bad Meets Evil, that fucking like collab album between those two, forget about it. That album is fucking sick too. Uh, I would love a part two because those guys are gross. And if you want another reference of a more up to date song from a few years ago with those two, it's Royce's song called Caterpillar. It's incredible. I highly recommend it. But back to Drake. Like, I mean, to me, the diss track. It's hard for me to take him seriously with like hardcore shit. Like the poppy, kind of other shit. That's fine. To me, that's not like hip hop. That's more like pop.
He should not.
But
He should not be getting into rap bat beefs with anyone. Like,
well, let alone Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm not like some huge Kendrick Lamar fan, but just from an outsider perspective, which I agree, haven't listened to a fuck ton of Kendrick's music. I just haven't. But because I remember when he was getting a lot of pub for like I think maybe it's the first like major studio album that put him on the map, like To Pimp a Butterfly.
yeah,
And then I just happened to be watching the Grammys, and I see this fucking just masterful fucking performance on stage by him, and I'm like, holy shit, is hip hop back? Am I gonna like this? And so I got To Pimp a Butterfly, or I acquired it. I don't really buy music much anymore unless I know. Like, I will gladly go buy, even after only hearing 2 songs. Right now, I would gladly go buy a vinyl copy of Ghostface Kills Me.
yeah,
Easy. Like, he's got all the goodwill in the world to me. I don't care if he's in his 50s. This dude is still spitting harder than most of the people that are quote unquote pop.
yeah,
And, but, I I tried it out. I didn't love it, to be honest, as a whole. Maybe that I have on occasion, like albums have grown on me.
yeah,
Like I'm like, you know what? You see it from or you hear it differently for some reason or something catches you. and so maybe I it deserves another listen or two. But I was just kind of like, it's fine. He's talented. He's super creative. He's a way superior lyricist to Drake. So I just don't know what Drake's even fucking trying to do here. Like, what's the end goal? Like,
Yeah.
I listened to Kendrick's one of Kendrick's diss tracks in this battle. It's creative. It's fine. I didn't love it. Like, I don't think anything I've heard from this quote unquote battle, with the grassy battle of hip hop. I don't.
Well,
Nothing has stuck out to me like, of the little bit that I know. I think there's multiple tracks, but I mean, from the two that I've heard, it's not like. I mean, obviously Kendrick in my eyes is winning, but it's. I
well,
mean, overall, it's not a very impressive battle,
no.
but it's
Well,
the first one we've had in a long time.
and it's also like, Kendrick used like remedial thinking of being like, oh, like we're in this rap beef. I should probably have another song ready so that when he drops his, I can immediately drop mine and steal all of its thunder. Which, like, people acted like that was the most genius thing they have ever heard. Like, unbelievably
Yeah,
big brain thinking. And it's like, yo, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yes, that's obviously what you should do. Like, and like, you know, I I've never liked Drake. I thought he was corny and lame, and again, the term like culture vulture. Like,
right.
I do not understand how he was so embraced by the hip hop community and black people in general. Like, it's like I thought he was fake as fuck. I don't know how they didn't see it, but like,
I mean, Drake is not without. Like, I mean, he's got some songs that make my fucking head bob.
oh
Like,
yeah,
he's not my favorite. I'm not like sitting here defending Drake. I don't think. Like, I think I understand
and
Drake is
that's
just Drake to me. Like, he doesn't even qualify. Like, when I think about when I'm really sitting down and I'm having a discussion about hip hop, and I used to like. I used to work with a guy it was during COVID. He didn't need, he was just trying to make some extra money. He's a fucking DJ.
yeah,
Hip hop DJ used to, his name's DJ Newmark. If you're local to West Palm Beach or not, go check out 107.1. He's on pretty much every day, and you can listen to it on the web. He plays throwback fucking hits. He used to DJ for like DMX and on tour and TLC and shit. Like, he's a legit dude,
yeah,
and he's very very knowledgeable about hip hop. And I picked his brain. I'm a fucking Navy brat, and white at that. Like, I appreciate the culture. I love the music. I love like a lot of these guys. Like, of course, everybody loves the fucking party songs, and everybody loves some of the more money mo hoes shit like that. Like, that aside, like, I appreciate a lot of guys like Nas and whatever. Like, not only is it the creativity and the poetry of it all, like, Nas is literally a lot of his songs. He's taking you on a fucking journey of his life or how his life is. And if you really listen, it's so much more than just a fucking song. It's a
yeah,
message, and it gives you a view into what he's going through that I can't relate to
yeah,
at all. But I can allow him to tell me about his childhood and how it was, and because I mean Nas is, I mean you want to talk about the fucking greatest rappers to ever live and the fucking or the best lyricists of all time. Nas is in that conversation. He's like, he has to be.
yeah,
I mean, you go back to Illmatic and it's like a perfect album, and it's his debut to the world, and that album is an all time classic. And you don't get that shit from like Drake.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, the level of artistry for me, like, it's more he's more shit that I might hear in the club and I'll accept. But I don't qualify him as like he's a rapper. He's not an MC.
Yeah. And like, well, the thing with
I
the thing with Drake is that, and like the thing that's so cutting, that that Kendrick did was like call it out as a pedophile, and like Drake's response is hysterical because it it's true. Like he has super weird interactions with people like Millie Bobby Brown, and like a bunch of
see. I don't know any of this shit. Please educate me.
yeah. He was
What
like
about the pedophilia with him?
yeah. He was
This is just how I go. You know, we need to change the name of the podcast to the pedophilia
of
podcast.
yeah.
I feel like we're
Of
talking about it all the time.
I
Like,
love
what is with people fucking children? I
yeah.
don't understand.
I'd love to not talk about it, but it seems like everyone in pop culture like thinks children are super hot, so it's hard to avoid. But the yeah, so like when Millie Bobby Brown was like 13, 14, like Drake was
Right.
in her DMs, which is weird as fuck. Like I don't care if it's super benign. Like this is a person that she's never worked with or met, I assume. Like
Right.
like maybe she was a fan of, but like they apparently like talked a lot, and I'm like that's super weird. I'm like so like, and that's not the only interaction. That's like just one of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So like he's had these weird interactions in the past, and
Right.
so when Kendrick brings up the fact that like people in his crew like have gone to jail and are like on the Megan's Law website, and then he makes accusations about Drake, like those accusations hit hard. And then like Drake's response to them, if he even did respond to them in a song, he essentially was like, he's like, I wouldn't fuck with kids, I'm too rich, I'm too famous. Like that is a defense. It's like, no, that's like literally rich and famous people are who we associate
With pedophilia.
with pedophilia. It's like, so that's not a defense. I'm like, if anything, you're indicting yourself. But
Right.
so yeah, so like that hit hard, and like the cover or the the thumbnail that he used for the track was like when you're on the Megan's Law website, like where a predator is like marked out with like a certain symbol.
Right.
It's Drake's house with like a bunch of those symbols on it. And more importantly, like the first one he released was like rough. Like this was an absolute teardown of Drake. Like
Right.
people who are more versed in music than me, they're like, yo, this is tough to listen to because like it's fucking brutal. And like, Drake lost a rap beef with somebody who's essentially like a no one. Maybe you've heard of him. I had never heard of him. A guy named Pusha T. Pusha T.
No, Pusha T is fucking nasty.
Yeah.
I don't. Drake is dumb for even fucking trying.
So
Like, if you want, I knew of Pusha T back. My first experience with him is back in the day. You remember when the like Pharrell and the Neptunes were like producing, like they had like 10 of the top 15 fucking top 100 tracks.
yeah, when they were doing
Like,
everything.
they were on it.
Yeah.
They did. They were doing Britney. They were doing whoever. It was outside of hip hop as well.
Yeah.
And they were like huge. And then I remember just seeing this album. It was for a rap duo called Clips, and they have and Pusha T is part of that group.
Mm-hmm.
So Pusha T is part of my group of MCs, unlike Drake.
So
like he is somebody that I actually respect. Like that dude is fucking gross.
So he got into beef with Drake, and Pusha T revealed that Drake had a son and possibly other children that he like was a deadbeat dad towards, and like that ended it. Like Drake, who like came off as like kind of being like really professional and smart, of being like, you know,
Right.
what can I say to that? Like he revealed the fact that I've got a fucking kid that I don't talk about. Like I can't come back at that. Like so I mean,
Right.
he just kind of bowed out and took the L. So like another thing that Kendrick said was like it's like, oh yeah, we all know about your son, but like I know you got a daughter too. And like whether that's true or not, because Drake has denied that it's true. It's like, yeah, but like who's gonna believe you? Like
Yeah.
you already lied once, so like nobody buys that fact. So like, you know, and so the first song it's tough to listen to, and people are like, oh, that's rough. But like the second one, the one that he is calling Drake and all of his homies pedophiles, um,
Hmm.
that's gonna be bouncing in the club all summer long. So like
I'll have to look that track up.
so like Drake is gonna have to listen to a very listenable club anthem that's him getting fucking dunked on all summer. And like, you know, and his response to that was most people agree bad and not very good and not really listenable. So like, you know,
Right.
Kendrick has absolutely dumpstered this motherfucker. But I
Well,
love
I could have told that was going to happen without hearing
oh
a
yeah.
thing.
So
It's just a matter of skill. Like it's just a matter of skill. Like Kendrick is, and this is me not knowing a lot of Kendrick's music. I've literally only heard like, well, I heard all of Pimple Butterfly, and I've heard a few songs here and there. Kendrick is skilled and creative. Fucking
yeah.
like Drake is just a guy. Like
Well, and
like that's why it's like I the only reason I kind of find it this whole thing even somewhat compelling from a hip hop perspective is because I guess I'm a hip hop fan, and this is the first time I'm hearing of like any type of like major beef that's being talked about between two rappers that hasn't involved Eminem in a long time.
yeah.
Like it's just but like just if they were like, oh yeah, these two got beef, I'm like, this is Kendrick all day. You don't even have to listen to the
Yeah.
track.
So
Like you don't even have to listen.
yeah, you don't need to know anything. But so it's like so even at Drake's game of pop rap, and I mean he goes after Drake for using ghostwriters, which obviously like you can't release
Everybody does that.
well like that's the thing is that Kendrick doesn't, which is why it takes him like 5 years to
Well,
release an album.
oh yeah, no, I know, like guys like Kendrick and fucking like M, like they're not using ghostwriters, but like, and I know there's other ones, but a lot of people do that. Like, I mean,
Well, yeah,
fucking Dre, I mean, Dr. Dre, Eminem wrote on 2001. There are lines that and verses. There's like a few bars. Eminem wrote that shit.
well, yeah, and but the thing is that like M is credited as a collaborator,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
which Drake does not do. But I mean, it's like obviously Drake uses ghostwriters because like you don't drop, you know, like 40 song albums every 3 months like just because you're that because you have that like you're that naturally a font of
Yeah.
creativity, especially when most of
Yeah.
them suck. Like the dreck that motherfucker releases on a on an industrial scale. But so like even at the pop rap game, like
Right.
Kendrick whooped his ass, something that Drake should have, you would think that Drake would have excelled at. But
Right.
so so yeah, he just, and like the thing that I love that Kendrick brought up that I think is kind of slept on, but this is how I feel about him, is he's like, I hate the way you walk, I hate the way you talk, I just hate you. Like I hate your vibe.
Huh.
I can't stand looking at you. And I think that is super cutting because sometimes it's like sometimes you just don't need a good reason. And like
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't like.
and like that's how I've always felt about Drake. but he's, people fucking love the dude so much that, like, that was never, like, a good enough reason for me to be like, I just hate this motherfucker. I just don't like
Right.
him. Like, there's something about him that I despise. So, when he brought that up, I'm like, finally, vindication. And it seems like a lot of people felt that way because people are coming out of the woodwork, like, to hate on Drake. And it's like, it seems like Kendrick kind of gave people the go ahead
Okay.
to
The go ahead to hate him.
to go after this motherfucker. And like, the pedophilia stuff, like, Drake himself has some weird stuff, but like there are people on the Megan's Law website that are in his fucking crew. Like, that can't that can't be denied. That can't be argued. Well, it can't be argued. And again, like, you hang out with people that have similar interests as you.
Right.
So yeah, I was just glad that, like, I don't like him. I never have. You know, he's released good music, but not as, like, are they all time? Has he ever released like an all time classic? I don't think so. Like,
Look,
that.
man, he's fine. I take you know what? I remember I saw it was I didn't see the full interview or whatever, but you want to talk about somebody that is dirt nasty MC fucking hip hop to the core, you have Most Def.
Yeah.
And somebody was interviewing them and they were talking about, and I know like Drake like came up and because they were saying hip hop or pop or whatever, or hip hop or rap or whatever the fuck. And Drake came up and he immediately didn't even hesitate when he said Drake. He did not qualify him as hip hop. He
Yeah.
qualified him as rap or pop, which he is. Like, Drake is the fucking thing that you hear, and this is most def. This is a roundabout what he said. It's like when you roll into fucking Target. It's what you hear Drake on the fucking thing. That's Drake.
Yeah.
That ain't Kendrick.
Yeah,
That ain't
no.
Eminem. That ain't that's not Nas. It's not Wu-Tang Clan. It's not Redman. Like, it's like you're not hearing their shit playing in the goddamn.
Yeah.
You don't roll into Target and hear Big Pun on the fucking playlist. You don't. And like but you can't. You will hear Drake.
white moms are not bumping anything but Drake.
Right. So I mean, it's for the soccer mom.
Yeah.
And I get it. And he makes some music, that comes on. They mix up in the club, get some people out there shaking their asses and dancing. That's fine. There's a place for that. But just try not to act like you're something else, and then I will accept you.
Well, I mean, he's finding out the hard way that, he ain't that guy, because he used an AI voice of Pac in one of his songs.
I heard that, and I like, now I'm really happy. Because, like, I don't think Pac is the greatest lyricist of all time. But my argument is he is one of, if not the most important, at least to me, in my hip hop world. Like, the first two albums I ever heard that introduced me to hip hop in like earnest. I'm not talking about like fucking, the MC Hammer shit that was on the radio or Ice Ice Baby. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about like hip hop in earnest. 1996, I was in elementary school. Somebody had both albums in a CD player and let me listen to it.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, it's 1999, and Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Pac has been my dude. Ironically, I discovered Tupac as a child the same year he was shot and killed in Vegas.
Yeah.
But like, he's been my dude ever since, and I'm very defensive and fucking, like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
And I how dare you, Drake? You have not earned the motherfucking right to fucking do that.
So,
like, you have not earned the fucking right. You're not even in the same galaxy as fucking Tupac.
So he's finding out the hard way because one of his security guards got shot outside of his house.
Good.
From what I understand, you know, he just legged him. So I mean, this was a fucking message of,
Right.
hey, guess what, dumbass? You ain't safe. Which, like, you know, you fuck around with Pac, like, you're gonna find out real fast that the Crips don't like that.
Yeah. No, nobody's gonna like it. Hip hop fans in general are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Like
So, but
if
like, you know, Kendrick isn't gonna shoot you. These motherfuckers, like, people that fuck with Pac, they're gonna shoot you. Like, it's like you have fucked up. So
I'm not a fan of that at all. I didn't know that happened, and now I'm like, now my blood's boiling.
Yeah.
Like it is. I know that's stupid because I obviously never met the guy. I have no association with Tupac Shakur, but he was such a big part of my life. Like growing up, like his music.
Yeah.
Like I bought multiple of his albums multiple times because one of my CD books, remember the CD books?
Oh hell
Back
yeah.
in the day, got stolen. I just got All Eyes on Me on vinyl like the other day because for some reason I've started collecting vinyl, which is going swimmingly, by the way. I've got a lot of it.
Oh yeah, very nice.
But I just got it the other day, the All Eyes on Me, and I'm ecstatic. I've bought Tupac albums multiple times through the years, reacquired them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all.
But yeah, so he's gonna. It's possible that Drake finds out the real hard way how real hip hop can be.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that's happening. But
it's just like honestly, neither like don't get me wrong. From the songs that I heard, Drake's trash, Kendrick's obviously got skill, so it's obviously him. That's not here nor there. I was just like, fuck, man, I don't really dig either one of these tracks compared to like I'm sorry, neither one. Like even Kendrick shit, it ain't no Vaseline.
Yeah,
it's not Hit 'Em Up. It's not fucking Ether. It's not fucking what is it? Return of Jack the Ripper, where fucking LL Cool J fucking destroyed Cannabis, Wyclef, and Mike Tyson all in one fucking line.
Yeah.
Like it's not that at all. And like I'll be honest with you, I wanted to have some fun, and I was hoping I was going to enjoy the rap battle more than I have. I was like, but I'm just like neither of the tracks really like totally grab me the way the other some of the older shit does. But like I don't know, man. I'm glad you're here so we can actually have a constructive conversation of it, or at least try.
Yeah.
Because I'm very I understand. I tend to be very get off my lawn with hip hop.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I'm like I'm not. If it's new, I'm like a lot of the time. But no, this has actually captured my attention a little bit. It's probably because I'm like, I think the first thing was like Drake. Drake going after Kendrick Lamar? Is he retarded?
Yeah, it's like, is something wrong with you? Like, why did you think that you could get away with this?
Yeah, like, why did you think? Yeah, why did you? Who in your team was like, you know what you should do?
Yeah, who told you that?
After Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, who told you that you could step to him?
Yeah, like who gave you this bad information?
But
it's probably one of the guys that's fucking kids.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
Probably one of those assholes. Yeah, that adds up.
So
I've answered my own question.
Yeah, we got there, but yeah, like it is it's so stupid and crazy to me that he thought that this was a good idea.
I know. I know. Poor Drake.
But
I,
th-
I
that
don't fucking
that
care.
dumb bitch.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm here for it. If I'm a hip hop fan. If it's something I can get into, I'm totally here for
Yeah,
it. I'll
but
listen to this dude get demolished. That's fine.
I
I'm
mean,
not that big a fan anyway.
over the summer you're probably gonna hear it whether you want to or not.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even owned a Drake album. Like, I think most of the Drake that at any point if Drake has been on in my car, it's because I'm either listening to the radio or he's a feature on like a Lil Wayne,
Yeah,
and that's about it. Like that is because Wayne is gross. Like Lil Wayne is disgustingly good,
yeah.
but and for some reason he seems to enjoy Drake stuff. But
Hopefully, it's not for the reason we suspect.
hopefully not. But Wayne doesn't come. I mean, who the fuck knows really
Yeah,
anymore? But at least on the surface, Wayne doesn't seem to act like a pedophile. He actually seems like a pretty fun dude
yeah,
that just happens to be a little weird and super gross on the mic.
yeah,
Like, like why? I mean, I guess you can blame Lil Wayne a lot for the rise of Drake. I think he did a lot for it.
yeah. He definitely did quite a bit
Yeah,
to
yeah, boost the shit. Yeah, it's just so. I mean, it is what it is.
but yeah, the whole thing I think is funny. Just like, why would you? Why?
Yeah,
What? Where did you? How did you think this was gonna go? Like,
I know, I know. That's the weird thing. I'm like, why did you think? I know everybody thinks of the best. I know, and I think hip hop is better when people have that attitude.
yeah,
But I mean, there is something to be said about not being, fucking delusional.
yeah,
Like, come on. Like, the game who I respect as an MC, and I like the game. I like some of his tracks. It's too bad that they got beef because I think 50 and the game could make a super like rap duo
mm,
even to this day, and I think that album would be a banger. I think those two are peanut butter and jelly. You get this dude from the West Coast, dude from the East Coast, and they just fucking go together so well. But God, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this. I lost my train of thought because I started talking about them.
but
Fuck, where did I start? Where did I start?
but they
What did
got
I
beef.
say? I had a point to it all. I'm sorry. I got beat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a fucking idiot because I'm working and like I'm actively talking to other people as I'm talking. So I lose my train of thought. So I apologize profusely.
But yeah, you're okay. So they got beef. Where are we going? Where are we going with
Uh,
this? It's Timmy in the
yeah,
well.
like I don't get it. I don't get any of this shit.
It's like it's stupid,
It's
but
so fucking, yeah.
it's not stepping to Kendrick for no reason. Stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
well, I mean, the whole reason that this kicked off, it's not entirely for no reason. The whole thing this kicked off is because um
Oh, I think I remember
it was like the big three, and
Right.
Kendrick and Drake and um I'm so out of touch. I forget who the third guy was. I'm losing it. Why can't I remember his name? Hold on. Let me. I want to look it up because I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about him. Uh, um, J. Cole. That's what it was.
I never heard a song. I hear he's pretty good. I don't know. I haven't looked him up.
Yeah. So like he said, like, I think it was in his verse where he said something about the big three, and Kendrick apparently that like rubbed him the wrong way, and he was like was like, fuck the big three, I'm the big me. So for whatever reason, rubbed him the wrong way, not a big deal. uh J. Cole like clapped back, but like when he did, he like immediately realized he made a mistake, and and apologized and bowed out gracefully. And
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
and yeah, essentially. So he bows out just uh as uh as Kendrick starts dropping fucking absolute nukes onto Drake. So like it went from being like, oh, you're gonna bitch out and let this guy walk all over you, to people being like, you know what, that was a very smart move. Good job.
Yeah, like it's fine. I mean, there's something to be said for having the wherewithal to be like, you know what, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean the same. And I think where I was going with the game is because that line, you don't want to fuck with the white boy, when referring to Eminem. I didn't make that up. Guess who said that during an interview? The game.
Yeah.
And then, years later, probably one of the more recent beefs that we had, which, I didn't. I mean, the game is talented and all that, and I appreciate him, and I wish him and 50 would have just been doing bangers until the end of time. But it, even he was like, went after Eminem, and I think after a while, after he said nobody could fuck, and it's just trying to get shit going, like album sales and popularity.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he ever really thought like I'm going to.
Yeah.
So maybe there is some of that. Like maybe Drake is just, I don't know. Like is he in like a little wall or something and needs the fucking publicity? Like why would you do this to yourself?
Well,
I don't understand. Like I kind of understand why, like,
well,
you know
my
a 48-year-old, 50-year-old game that's trying to get some extra scratch drops an album with a couple diss tracks on it. I totally get that. I understand what he's trying to do, even though it might be ill-advised. I get it. Gets his name in the public, but yeah, I don't understand this very much.
I think it's that. I think that
Hey there,
Drake is more of a like social. He's more of a social media clout guy, and I think that he thought that this was going to be like a business decision where both of them were gonna, feel good about this, and this was gonna go over well, and he found out the hard way that that's not how Kendrick does things.
Everyone was 100
okay, that's fine. Yeah, I will. Yeah, just put it down. I'll cut it up and make it nice. Oh, is this like that thin one? Oh, this is a little thicker. I think we might be able to use this pretty good because like this is gonna stain really well too. Yeah. Oh, okay. And he's gonna bring it to us. Oh my God, that's perfect. That's great. That's good news because how long was that drive? I'm interested in this now. Scarlet Red, I like that too. Nice, good job. No, you got something. Hey, do you want this, or do you want me to just put it over here? Okay. Yeah, I'll cut it up. Okay. Yeah, I'm about it, man. I could use more. All right, wonderful. No, this will help a lot. I appreciate you going. You did hit traffic. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's never. It's kind of, even though most people should already be at work at that time, it's impossible to fucking tell when you're driving to and from Miami. You never know really what you're gonna hit. So you were going in that direction. Good. 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 I'm glad it wasn't too bad. Yeah. So check out there for a second. Apologies.
No, you're
Um. Yeah, but yeah, I would like to. I would definitely like to revisit this topic. I would like some time to like maybe do a little listening, like close listening to this rap battle, so I can get actually somewhat more of an analysis for it. Because I mean, from what I heard, it was just kind of glancing over two tracks while I'm on the shitter.
yeah.
Uh, it, I mean, it was kind of clear cut. Like I was like, oh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, well, obviously Drake's about to get fucking buried.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. Which
You,
one? Yeah, so I was a little like, I guess maybe I checked out before I should. But I mean, it's obviously two names that I know, and
well, I mean,
I guess of, like
no
maybe
one
the
was
newer generation
expecting,
hip hop. But
no one was expecting Kendrick to be like, "Yo, you and your crew are a bunch of fucking pedophiles." It's like, whoa,
that's
whoa.
true. I
It's
mean,
like, holy fuck, what?
it's just especially because they're like some of his crew is officially like on the list.
Yeah,
It just there's no coming. Like, what do you say? Like, there's no coming back from.
yeah. It's like,
It's just it just is what it is.
it's not a big deal that all my homies fuck kids. like,
Yeah, exactly.
like,
What
what are you gonna say?
What's your follow up? That's
Yeah,
what I want to know. That's
yeah,
what I'm interested in. Like, what's your follow up? What's your rebuttal on that?
yeah,
Like, it's like there's nowhere to go.
yeah.
Like like checkmate.
Yeah,
Bro.
it's not
Like
weird
it's
that all my homies are pedophiles and also I talk to kids. like
right.
it's not weird. It's not weird
It's
at all.
not weird.
Yeah,
We're just over here living our normal lives.
yeah, especially because some of my homies literally can't come within 100 feet of these kids. It's not weird. You're weird.
You're weird. You're weird. Kendrick is a weird name. Nobody likes you.
Yeah, you're weird for bringing it up. It's like
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know where you go from that.
I
I mean,
I,
definitely like it. It. It's such a fucking. It's just such a fucking far cry. Well, maybe not the pedophile line, but I was listening to Drake shit. I'm like, what is that? I was like, this is such a far cry from like, I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Like, it's just,
yeah.
it is such a different. It's like I was listening to the Drake track, and I'm like, oh, this is like the Little League, like the batting practice at Little League version of a rap battle,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Well,
Like, I mean, at least on his front, I'm not talking about Kendrick's part.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, I was like, this is kind of a joke, right?
I think that Drake is so used to how things are done in the pop sphere where
Yeah.
like everybody kind of benefits from being in a beef, and it's kind of like understood, and like there are rules essentially. And I just don't think that he was ready for somebody who's not in that sphere and doesn't feel that there are any kind of rules, and just went for the throat. He's like, I'm not your friend. Like, I'm not here so that both of us do better. I, in fact, don't like you, and don't care that it might be a bad business decision to go after you. I'ma go after you. So like, I don't think Drake was ready for that. I think he thought that, oh, we're gonna have a little rap beef, and we're gonna, like, because Drake is, in my eyes, a pretend rapper. Um, you know, and
He's a pop star.
yeah,
That's what it is. He's a pop star.
he thought his Canadian ass was gonna have some friendly, like maybe not super friendly banter, and that was gonna be the end of it. He did not expect for him to be like, "Yo, you and your crew are all a bunch of fucking pedophiles." Like, holy
I know.
shit!
He wasn't ready for that. Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it. Like, I can also think about it like in terms of like maybe it might be a shitty analogy, but like let's think of like an athlete, okay, like a young athlete who for years has been told that he is the fucking man
Yeah,
and he's the best, and then he gets to, let's say, the NBA or the NFL, and he is the now he's on a level playing field with peers.
yeah,
So maybe he's not that good. I don't. And so I mean, you gotta think like Drake has also been told for years now, based even on album sales and probably selling out arenas and shit. With the pop act, like he just thinks he's better than he is because
because he was told he was
he
the man for so long.
he was told exactly. He was told album sales and probably selling out arenas and shit or whatever the fuck he does, on tour. He probably it reinforces it for him.
Oh yeah,
But those people are lying to him because they're like, "Yo, you're a great pop rap star."
yeah,
They're telling him that he's the savior of hip. Like that's what his camp is telling him.
yeah,
So you hear that enough, and you get that reinforced enough, and when he came in the game, he was a fucking basically he was a man, but he was a child. Like he had no he's probably like in his early 20s,
yeah,
if not earlier. Like you get told something that long, yeah, I'm sure you have a level of cockiness and bravado. And then, you make a fucking dumbass decision and you go after a real MC and he eats your lunch. And it's just, I mean, it's not, I hate to, I don't want to defend Drake because I don't think he's overly talented or anything, but I could see how he thought this was going to go way different.
you could
him.
see how he thought that this was a good decision.
Yeah, he thought this was a good business decision because the people around him probably just lined him. Like, oh, because they're along for the ride. They probably get, they probably get their like little pay or allowance, and they're on the payroll. So they're just jacking this dude up, telling him he's the best ever when he's not, because they want their payday. And he just made he made a dumb ass decision. Like, if you want to go battle somebody, like go after like I don't know, Adam Levine or something. Like it's like that. You're a pop star. You're not a hit.
Yeah, definitely don't use Tupac's voice.
Yeah, please, for the love of God. Like, what the fuck do you think?
It's like, yeah, that's a good way to find the fuck out how not hip hop you are.
Yeah, man, it's like you can't. Like people take that shit. Like they take pop super.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Like it's not just me. There's a lot of people out there that are like, nope, don't fuck with him.
Yep.
even after he's dead. Don't you fucking dare,
Yeah.
because we will hunt you down and torture you the rest of your
Yeah.
life. Like, people
People.
fucking take him
Yeah.
very serious. He's an icon.
Yeah.
Like, he is a legit icon. Like, you just
People.
can't fuck.
People will
You can't.
come after you.
Exactly. Like, it's not a good decision at
Yeah.
all.
It's like
Like, the only
real
way,
scary people are coming for you.
yeah, the only way that if he's on any track of, like, because Pac made a lot, and there's a lot of shit that's unreleased. You get all these posthumous albums and shit,
Yeah.
and which is fine. I'll always take a little more Tupac, and but they laid tracks with like other people, but that's all coming from the Tupac camp.
Yeah.
Like, that's his mom and whoever's in control of the camp now. Like,
Yeah.
that's authorized shit that they allow.
Yep.
Like, did he go talk to Tupac's camp about this fucking battle track?
No
Probably.
shot.
Yeah, like, no shot he did.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm stupid detective talking out of my ass because I love it so much, but I just can't. I don't see how you think this is a good idea and it's gonna end well for you.
I mean,
Like, Kendrick shit aside, fuck the battle. Like, the Tupac thing is like, that is almost a dumber decision than trying to pick a beef with Kendrick.
well, I am, I agree with that as well. Where it's like, dude, like, these are, like, you are stepping into the water with real, like, people are protective of him. Like, people,
Yeah.
like, it's like people have fought and died over Tupac after the man's death. It's like, you think you can just use an AI generated voice and people aren't gonna feel a certain way about that? It's like, look, I'm not saying that people should shoot you over it, but, like, people might shoot you over it.
Dude, okay, Tupac. Speaking about Tupac, think about it. Like, don't get me wrong. I think more people enjoyed it than they didn't.
Yeah.
But, like, years ago, when I think it was Snoop and Dr. Dre were out on stage and they did the fucking hologram,
Yeah.
like, realistic hologram, and like, to be part of the show, like, a lot of people, and even me, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, and it didn't register as like a tarnishment, or because, I mean, it's Snoop and Dre.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean,
It wasn't
this is
disrespectful.
people. No, it's also people was in his circle. Like,
Yeah.
they've done songs together and they were on the same record label for a long time. All
Yeah.
that shit. Like, and I mean, I know they also all had their like little hiccups and beefs, but to me, they could get away with it. But even then, some people were like, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
And this is Dre.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And
I don't know who the fuck
you ain't Dre.
is. Yeah. Like, because, I mean, you're talking about a guy. Like, I don't know how many people listened out there actually have followed or, like, deeply know about Tupac Shakur and his path and all the shit he was, like, he was on fucking, like, talk shows.
Yeah.
And is so smart and articulate and obviously an advocate for, the black community and shit, and was very impactful and not just like, thug life, whatever. Like,
Yeah, he wasn't.
that shit is one thing. Like, he was something different. Like, that dude.
Yeah, Pac.
It's a shame he was taken from us, because I don't know how much longer he would have done music, to be honest with you, because he was so much more than just that.
He, it's not a joke, and this is coming from me, who's, like, not, I've never been super into hip hop and all that stuff. I think we live in a fairly different world if Pac was still around. Like, I think, I think, like, the Black Lives Matter, like, I think Pac would have been the figurehead of the Black Lives Matter movement, and that movement wouldn't have, however you feel about it, it wouldn't have been as directionless and kind of had
Yeah.
people like, like I'm forgetting his fucking
Well,
name.
it's a shame.
Like Kaepernick wouldn't have been the figurehead. Kaepernick's a terrible figurehead for it because he's
Well,
not, in my mind. It took him. Kaepernick's a better speaker now and a better figurehead now, but the damage is done. He wasn't
yeah.
ready to be speaking about that kind of issue at that level at that time. So the fact that he was kind of thrust into it and it didn't work out for him, like, I think Pac would have probably been. I think he would have been the figurehead of the movement, and I think he would have handled it way, way better. I mean, he's more intelligent. He's way better. He's
More intelligent is an understatement.
yeah.
Like,
he's so.
I mean,
he's so well spoken.
You can say what you want. Yeah, you can say what you want about, he had a rough upbringing, and I'm not trying to speak ill of his mother, but her mother, or his mother had drug problems and shit, like a lot of people did back there. But she also taught her kid about history, and fucking he had a really good education, not just his African roots, but just the world in general and how shit works. And he didn't hate anybody. He wasn't racist or anything. He accepted. The dude is hanging out with fucking I'm pretty sure he fucked Madonna. He's the people that gravitated towards him was astounding.
Yeah.
Just the different people he would hang out with. Mick, what was it? Mick, what's the actor's name? Mick Rooney.
Oh, Mickey Rooney.
Or one of them.
Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rooney's way too old.
He ended up doing a movie with him eventually, but I think they were hanging out before him. How obscure. When you think of hip hop, Mickey Rourke does not pop in your head.
Yeah, he is not a certified hood classic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just there was just so many directions that he could have gone. He was smart enough. He was smart and intelligent enough. He could have made a switch to politics, and he was turning himself into a very, very, very accomplished actor, and was just getting better and better. If he wanted to, that motherfucker probably could have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Eventually, he could have. He was that fucking multi-talented, and so there's so many things that we were possibly deprived of because Puffy killed Pac. I'm just gonna say.
Based on another famous pedophile. Based on what we know about Puffy now, yeah, he probably did.
I'm sorry, man. Ever since this shit with Puffy went down, because I was thinking about it before, but I was like, it could just be a fucking coincidence. But I know Keefy D had something to do with Pac's death. It's obviously evident.
Yeah.
But I think Puffy was called because during that time, I'm pretty sure Keefy was under his employment. Right? Am I right? I think so. At that time in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh,
he hired them because he was scared of fucking death row. So he hired the Crips.
Yeah,
to fucking protect him.
Yeah. Based on everything that we have learned about Puffy, he car bombed Kid Cudi. That's the accusation right now. So it's is it an insane statement to say that he ordered
the death of Tupac?
No, not at all.
It's not an insane thing to say to me, especially because there's an association.
Yeah.
Between the guy that they just Las Vegas PD or whoever, LA, wherever he was, and probably executed the warrant. That's why Keefy D is not a free man right now.
Yeah.
like we have our answer, but to me, it's still somewhat of a mystery because I don't know. A part of me just, especially now, I thought of before, Homeland Security started to fucking, go after Puff. It was
Well,
always in the back of my head. I was like, I can't prove it, so I'm not gonna ever even though I'm a nobody, I'm not gonna really say anything. But for a long time, just based off of research of the murders of both Biggie and Pop, it was the only connection. Like
yeah,
there was like this glaring connection between Keefe D and Diddy. And so now, especially with all this going on, I'm like, this sick son of a bitch probably set them to kill him. He probably made the call.
yeah. Well, I mean and especially because now we're sitting in a position where, um, the charges against Puffy, like there haven't really been that many official charges. There haven't really been, and the charges aren't dropped. So like the U.S.
Did
government,
they? Is he still out of the country?
I don't.
Like he's still gone, or do they have him? Is
Uh,
he in custody or?
well, he's not in custody because I don't think they've really charged him with anything yet. But like the fact that they haven't dropped it leads me to believe that they are
Are very confident. Yeah.
they are making sure that they can nail him to the wall. Like
Yeah.
they are I feel like they are doing their utmost to not fuck this up. Especially because part of the reason why they probably haven't charged him yet is that from what I understand is that somebody tipped him off. So like
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I mean,
like
when your entire net worth is probably close to $1 billion, you could buy off a lot of people.
yeah, well like but again, like it's Puffy. Like would you have expected that Puffy was connected enough to have somebody in Homeland Security or the FBI looking out for him? Like that is what makes me super suspicious of him. It's like, yo,
Well, yeah,
you had this ready to rock? Like
yeah,
why?
like it, yeah, it would, yeah. No, that is, I agree. That's it's strange,
Yeah.
and and this is the weird thing is like, don't get me wrong, I've bought plenty of shit, and I bought a couple Diddy albums, or whatever Puffy, whatever the fuck he's calling himself nowadays.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of them before. Obviously, I'm a Notorious B.I.G. fan as well, and there's other songs that he's either on or produced or whatever that I, still like to this day. And it sucks because now every time I hear a track with him on it, it fucking like kind of taints it for me a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, like nowadays, and that really sucks. But I never fucking viewed him. I don't want to say I viewed him as a joke in the hip hop world. That's not the right phrasing.
Yeah.
I always viewed him. I was like, oh, he is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Definitely got more cred than like a Drake for me. Like I never viewed him in the Drake sphere, but it was the shiny suit, get money, fuck bitches shit. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of what it was, and that's fine, man. Like that, like more money, more problems, all that shit, fucking huge hits to this day.
Yeah.
And I used to like him quite a bit, but I don't know. I guess I never really thought. Part of me always thought I was like, he ain't capable of this because compared to a lot of these other guys, he's kind of soft.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
He didn't
Like I respected him in the hip hop world, but he was just kind of soft. Like I was like, okay, so he's the producer that can spit a little.
Yeah, he was not.
Like that's what he was.
He
He was
was
a
not.
businessman. He was
Yeah,
less than an MC.
he was not a guy to be taken seriously.
Serious.
In
That
my
seriously, yeah.
in my eyes, but like we come to find out that it's like he's serious as fuck.
Fuck. Yeah,
that
he's
like
super serious.
that
He is not a good person.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
he is scary as hell and serious as hell. And it's like, who the fuck saw that coming? And
I mean, I would like once charges are there, if they get him and charges are brought and this ever goes to court and stuff, I will be paying attention, and I would like to know the timeline of these things because I would like to know when he started getting dangerous. Was he always this dangerous, or did he just
immediately.
did he accumulate a bunch of fucking wealth and then and just became a dirtbag?
No, he was always like this. If so, one of his like assistants, essentially, like,
Yeah,
essentially, he paid this guy to like catalog and film crimes. If this guy is like on the level, which he appears to be,
right.
this guy like has like again 750 pages of evidence that reads like this. It reads like accusation of something happening, maybe a line or two on the page, and then see piece of evidence like and whatever like code it is. So it's like one or two sentences and then where you need to look it up in the evidence list, and it's
Yeah.
750 pages of that. So like so the amount and like this is like from the beginning. Like from what I understand, he he roofied and raped a girl and like had the video and like was showing it to people that were like supposed to be her friends. And like even when he was like not huge, he was getting away with this kind of shit. Like he like the accusation and like that's just true. Like he's losing court cases to women right now because New York and a couple other states have increased the statute of limitations that
Right.
that you can go after people, which I think you like needs to be opened up because like before social media, like yeah, you needed to be scared of these people big time because you had no voice. Like if the news didn't pick up your story, like
You're fucked.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally fucked. Like somebody super dangerous, like Puffy apparently, could have you killed, and like no
Right.
one would ever know.
Get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get away with it.
So like the Me Too thing happened, and now it's like okay, well like now I can like say on my social media, hey, this is what happened to me. If I turn up dead, like you know why.
It was Puffy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of shit is coming out about a lot of people, and people are like, well, why didn't you say anything before? It's like because they would have gotten their nuts stepped on. It's like these people would have gotten crushed.
What's that?
But like yeah, even when he wasn't,
You're okay to do things.
yeah, even when he
Yeah, I'll let you know if there's something that I need out the door. Okay, otherwise you can just do what you got to do. Oh, go ahead.
back before he was anybody, back before he was like a huge deal, like people were still afraid of him. So I assume he's always been like this. And I think he was I think he was smart enough to like during the beef because Suge Knight is Suge Knight. I think he was playing possum that whole time. I think he made himself appear weak to white media who wasn't aware and made himself.
I mean, and he's a self-proclaimed, like Suge is like what, fucking 7 foot, 350 pounds,
like former NFL player.
Yeah, NFL player, fucking huge, intimidating motherfucker who is a self-admitted very dangerous blood. Like it's not so. I think that's actually a really good method.
Yeah.
Like not totally bitching out, but making yourself seem weaker than you are, just so the outside world
sides with you.
That just makes Suge a bully. Yes.
Yeah,
It just makes him a bully at that point in the eyes of like everybody else.
yeah. So like, I think people that didn't know any better, or like just didn't do the research, or just were unaware of his past actions, uh, just believed this story that he was legitimately afraid of him. And it's like, I don't know that that's the case. I think he was play. I'm starting to think that he was playing possum the whole time, and had things way more in hand than any of us really
That we thought,
realized. So
yes.
like, yeah, the diddler, as people are calling him.
Hey man, I'm in full support of that. It's just like, as you know, uh, I I deeply, deeply love the hip hop culture, and it just really bothers me that he's this big a fucking dirtbag. Like, it really bothers me
it
because a lot of music that I love, I can't hear it the same.
it's
I can't,
really
not anymore. Like, I mean, if he would have just like, if he would have, whatever. If he was like, I know this sounds ridiculous, and it is with this statement I'm about to say, but if he was like on trial for murder, that's like like just murder. Like, let's say he had one body count, he got caught, and he got sloppy, he got caught, and it
yeah
was like a murder investigation. I would, I probably would not have the same feeling as I do with all the rape and pedophilia, because that shit just absolutely just like, it disgusts me.
well,
Like,
and it's also
it's
infuriating.
almost crueler than murder, because you're like, all these people are like, why, especially with the girls, it's always like, oh, or the women, why haven't you said anything first? Like, yes, because they get their fucking, ovaries stepped on by fucking this very powerful and wealthy person.
Yeah,
But uh, it's, I don't like, it's the same thing that you told me. Like, you don't know. You could be the biggest, baddest motherfucker on your block. Go over to Afghanistan, let the bullets start flying, and if it's the first time you've ever been shot at, you do not know how this interaction is going to go.
yeah.
You're either going to step up to the plate, or your body's going to go into fire place, and it doesn't make you a coward.
Uh,
But I can't. I've never experienced that level of warfare, so I can't speak on it intelligently. That's
uh,
why. It's like when Nico was making his decision. That's why I told him. I was like, I got like two people you can talk to if you want to, if you're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, because they have experience. I don't. I can't speak.
yeah. Well,
Same thing. I've never been fucking raped, and I wasn't molested. Like, the level of psychological damage that that could do to somebody, you don't know how they're going to act. As unreasonable as it seems,
yeah,
like, you don't know. The human mind is fucking real crazy about how it protects you.
yeah, and it's
So you don't know.
and more importantly, like, you like, this guy is from, not just from their perspective, but like what we're finding out, it's like there's good reason to be afraid
To
of
be
this guy.
Yeah, it sounds like they've got a good goddamn reason.
Yeah,
Like, so I think that is a bullshit comment from anybody that's, said that shit on message boards, or any reporters that asked. This is a completely insensitive and fucking ridiculous question.
yeah,
Because unless you, and everybody's mind is going to react to that differently and protect them in a different way. Some people will probably speak out pretty closely and go get the rape kit and go to the fucking police, and then other people are just going to shut down.
yeah. Well,
And
like,
it's just their mind, and so like, it's a fucking, it's a mute question. That's why statute of limitations on this shit is bullshit.
give me
And
one
I don't,
second.
I never
My
want to.
mom called me.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Do your thing, buddy.
You can keep talking. Keep talking about the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, I just like, sometimes, like, I'm sure there are people that have been falsely accused of like rape and molestation before, but why is there any statute of limitations on it at all? It's a horrific, horrific crime. You might not have killed them, but you've systematically damaged the person for the rest. So, and I mean, when you're talking about, this isn't Uncle fucking Bo Hunk out of nowhere diddling his fucking, nephew or niece. This is a very powerful, rich motherfucker that could really do a lot of damage if you go after him. So on top of like PTSD side of things and just how rich and powerful he is, I can see the fear. It's totally justifiable and it totally makes sense. And I mean, same thing with like Bill Cosby. I mean, he was America's father. I mean, like, why did it take so long? Because the Me Too movement kind of opened that shit up, and why should not? If all these women are saying, uh, where there's smoke, there's usually fire to a certain extent. Could a motherfucker just be getting thrown under the bus? Sure, but I think it deserves the attention because there's plenty of people that were legitimately like raped or molested, and they are scared to say anything. And they're scared to say anything, and they're ashamed that they let it happen to them. And this is people that are not as powerful as Diddy, like, are as rich as he. Like, that fucker is rich. Like, we're talking years of like maybe not even being on the bike, but businesses. Sean John Ware, fucking the dude is loaded. He could make a lot of shit happen just from his bankroll. So I want to pump the brakes on that shit, on the victim blaming on Diddy. Why didn't you say anything? That's fucked up. If there's this much evidence and fucking Homeland Security's coming after them, you need to take what these women are saying with more than a grain of salt, because it's probably true. No, I don't know how to carry a podcast of myself by myself. Like, you have to talk to me. But yeah, no, it's all just really disappointing for me. And whatever. I'm all for a good old classic battle track rap beat, battle rap. I'm all for that. But Puffy's a different animal. He's just a fucking dumbass. Especially if all you had to say was the diddler and bring up the pedophilia. I don't get it. Especially if people have more money than God. You just get bored of supermodels. Like, it's like, what the fuck? What's the fascination? I don't understand it.
All right, I'm back. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, well, people like you were
you
talking
can't
like
leave you alone.
like what you were talking about with combat. Like there are lots of people who have never experienced any kind of real hardship who think that they're gonna be a big dick hero when it's bullet
Right.
time. And yeah, that's just not how it is. Like you're
That's not how it works.
yeah, it's like you're people it's like people panic, like especially the first time. It's
Yeah.
like you don't know how you're gonna react, and it's not like an indictment on your character if you panic. I mean, hell, like that's
That is literally your brain
yeah.
protecting.
And like
There's nothing you can do to actually like really control it, in my book.
no,
Like,
like
your body will send you into fight or flight, and at a moment's notice, and you don't really have much control.
no, and
Like,
until
your
like
your your only hope is that you have enough training experience to have it almost be muscle memory to where you react in a more positive way, and even then, you might not react the way you want.
yeah, it's drilled that way, and like
Yeah.
like there are mechanisms in the service to where like, hey, if you react poorly, it's like that's kind of expected to a certain degree, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, like, is it so bad that you really that we need to put you somewhere else, or is it something that you can get
Can we
over?
train you up? Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
well, and especially like after it happens the first time, like that's kind of ripping the band-aid off for a lot of people, where now that they kind of know what to expect, they're they start reacting the way that they were trained. So,
Right.
like, yeah, it's like people like it's like, yeah, people panic. People don't know what they're gonna do, and people that act like they do. It's like, nah, you'd probably shit yourself.
Exactly. Like that's what that's what I told. That's exactly what I told Nico. I'm like, please talk to Evan or like Steve, my old supervisor. I was like, both those guys like real combat, and so I was like, you don't want to talk to me. I was like, you want to? You know, I can teach you how to sanitize a room when somebody doesn't have enough have the proper security clearance. I'll teach you that. I was a fucking pope. You don't want to talk to me. Like, but if you want to talk about like actual legitimate warfare, you need, you need to talk to some different people, brother. I was in the military. I was not. I was never a fucking warfighter.
Yeah, they like it's just different, and like there the other thing is that so many people just aren't on the level, and like it's got that's kind of what disappoints me about a lot of other veterans is that
Right.
people just lie. Like it's like
Oh yeah.
it's like and civilians like don't know that a lot of
Of course
people.
they don't know. How would the fuck do they know?
Yeah, well, it's because they've been told that it works a certain way for so long, so they like believe these people. Like, I mean, the most disappointing shit to me was finding out that like I forget, it's this guy who he's the guy that wrote the book on killing, and it's
Okay.
it's a really like deep dive and interesting thought process on like warfare and like the effect it has on people, and like it just uh dispensing with the bullshit and like actually talking about it, and it became fairly popular that like enough people probably know about it. Like, it was hugely disappointing to me to find out that this guy is like has been going around to police stations and like talking to cops for the last like 10 to 15 years, and he's like one of the main contributors for the make sure you go home alive, like shoot first, ask questions later kind of thing.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like you know better than that. Like, all these cops that like flip out and like see a weapon in somebody's hand and like immediately gun them down without like any thought. An airman just got killed in his own house because he answered the door with a pistol.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, yeah, they scared him.
yeah, he's allowed to have that pistol. Like that,
Yeah.
it's like you murdered him. Like,
Yeah. You
and
straight
it
up murdered him.
and
And
it,
you were at his home.
yeah, and like civilians and like and other people were like, well, he had a. It's like, do you know how many people were holding an AK-47 that that I had to deal with on a daily basis? It's like
Yeah.
it's like so it's weird to me that a guy that's used that supposedly, or I believe him when he says it, should be used to being in that situation as well, is advocating shoot first, ask questions later, where it's just like, I'm like, that is massively disappointing. And it's not, cops have a really difficult job, but like the position that they have themselves in pop culture is completely self-inflicted. Like,
Oh, 100%.
like
100%.
like police have a bad rep because they were terrible at making sure that their bad actors were dealt with in a reasonable way. It's like, so now every cop, because you let this fester for so long, is completely despised. So it's that's just just the whole thing, and like people, it's the internet. People talk out of their ass all the time. So I mean that's nothing new, but I do find it funny the amount of people that will like puff their chest out and think that they're like, oh, I'm not. It's like, no, you're not. It's like you're probably gonna
Yeah.
panic.
I have zero. If I was actually in warfare, I legit have zero fucking power. It's like, I have zero to this day, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. Like I don't consider myself a coward, but I also don't think I'm like some fucking war hero badass that's gonna fucking save America. I don't know because I've never been in that situation.
I mean, yeah, there's
I have fought a fire, and stuff like that, but like, so I wouldn't necessarily qualify myself as a coward. But I'll be honest with you, for as many years as I've carried a gun, lucky for me, it's never fucking ever came out of my holster, and I've never ever had to fire it, and it's so, and I consider myself lucky. That's not something that I want to happen.
no.
It's not. I don't want to get to a gunfight. I'll, hard pass. I have it if I need to get into a gunfight. I don't want to.
Don't have any desire to.
No. I want to make things look pretty. I want to fucking draw them. I don't want to fucking get in a gunfight. I'm not that dude. If I get in a gunfight, I want it to be on R6. That's it.
Exactly.
And but yeah, I mean, the whole reason I brought that up is I feel the same way about, like, these victims. Like when you said, like, people are asking, why did you come out? I think it's total bullshit. Like, because not only that, not only would every single fucking person on the planet handle bullets flying at them differently, every person on the planet is going to their situation, that who they are, what happened to them, their past before that horrific incident, all that shit is different.
Yeah.
Like, and so, like, you have somebody that's molested or raped by Diddy. Think about the shame that you would probably feel that comes, the aftermath of that event happening.
Yeah.
And then pile on top of it that he is damn near a billionaire and could buy your life over a million times.
Yeah.
Like, just buy it. Like, just fucking pay for it and still be rich. Yeah. Like, there's like, you would have to, especially if that person said you need to keep your mouth shut or X, Y, and Z. Now you're dealing with a totally different level of paranoia and fear on top of all the other shit that you're just naturally going to feel because you're a human being.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's a complete unfair fucking thing to say to someone. Because you don't know. Like, do I think every fucking person that's ever said I was raped is telling the truth? Fuck no, because I'm not an idiot. Just like when you break it down, when you really think about the universe as a whole, do you really think it's mathematically plausible that we're alone? Probably. So, like, I'm not out there looking for UFOs, but based on probability, the chances are that there are aliens, right? So, yeah. Like, I mean, come on, man. There's, like, you know what I'm saying here. It's just fucking. It's just unfair to them, and yeah, I know some of them are fucking. Or I'm sure there's people that have tried wolf before that have not been touched, raped, where it was completely consented. But if Homeland Security is coming to your door, right? And this guy is super powerful. Is this really a fucking fair thing to say to these people?
Yeah, like
it's Homeland Security. Miami PD didn't raid the house. Yeah. I'll say again, the cops didn't do it. It was Homeland Security. Like, it was like it's so. I mean, like,
it's a very different animal.
Right. Like, so, like, is it really fair to say that to potential victims while you're taking a shit and you just want to comment on the on a post? Like, it's not a fair thing
Yeah,
to me.
I mean, how
It's
many
just not.
people being keyboard warriors is nothing,
Oh yeah, it's for
nothing
them.
new.
It's all that gorilla's fault. I blame the gorilla for where we are.
If they
It was
didn't kill
Monday's
that
fault.
fucking gorilla.
Yeah, like I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't even know what year that was. To me, that was the turning point of society. Was that because while social media existed and everybody was having fun with it, and shit, it was a moment in time where people decided that they knew best and were gonna just spew nonsense.
That they were going to be
Like,
gorilla
are you?
experts.
Yeah, are you a fucking gorilla expert now?
Yep.
Oh no, no. Oh, I get it. You are on your toilet, on your wizard box, and you're just saying like how you want to be an animal activist for the day. Like, bitch, how about you pull your pants up and go chain yourself to the zoo fucking cage until they answer for their crimes? You know why? Because you don't fucking.
Because you
But
don't give
when
a
you're
shit.
but when you have because you don't really give a shit. You think you do because you're on your toilet and you're reading the story and you're like, I like gorillas. I saw Congo and that gorilla was sweet. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, you don't know. You don't know the situation. You weren't fucking there. But everybody wanted the zoo to be shut down in the head and want to fucking kill it. And then
Yeah, more
on
important,
top of that, everybody
the
was
guy that
influential.
shot the gorilla is a gorilla expert. Like,
Exactly. And here's the thing. And then after all that bullshit ended, guess what happens? Everybody's like, what a terrible mother for even letting the kid get down there in the first place. Should be keeping an eye on their kids. Listen to me. I don't have a kid, but I was a kid with a parent, and I did this to my parents, and my parents were excellent parents. I have no fucking childhood trauma to speak up. My parents disciplined me properly. They fucked when I deserved it. They were great fucking parents. If you have a kid that can walk on its own and you've ever taken them to a store, don't tell me that you haven't been looking at a fucking product that you want to buy and then for 2 seconds then look down and your kid was fucking.
yeah,
Don't
like,
tell me that's never happened to you because you are a you're as big a liar as P did if that's
yeah,
never happened. And you want to attack this mother? Could she have been being negligent? Sure, but you don't know.
yeah,
I'm sure she wasn't like, hey, why don't you get down there with the gorilla?
yeah. It's
I'm
like,
sure it was complete. It was just a moment of panic. The kid saw like, oh, monkey, and fucking went for it.
yeah, like
Like,
he,
that's what that was the turning point. They attacked the zoo for killing the goddamn gorilla, and then they started attacking the fucking mother. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, so what are we bitching about today, internet? Like that was like I lost it all. It was
well,
done. I was like almost done with the internet, or like at least Facebook. After that, I'm like, you guys don't know shit. You don't know shit when you're sitting here fucking just spewing off for no fucking reason, and then now that's what you get with everything. Everybody thinks they're some keyboard activist and they're gonna make a difference because they're behind their keyboard. Go fuck yourself. You are
it's like,
worthless pieces of trash.
it's like, say that,
Actually, go out there.
yeah, say that to somebody in person. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Get out from
I
your keyboard and
fucking
go tell them to their fucking
dare
face.
you.
I fucking dare you.
It's like,
But
no,
people don't want the conflict. They
yeah,
they want to be they want to spew this shit, but in real life they don't want that smoke.
no.
They'd
It's
be
like,
scared shitless to go up.
it's like,
Yeah,
no shot you say this to this mother in person. And
exactly. That's
that's,
when all this shit has started happening. And I
that,
blame the fucking gorilla.
yeah.
You call PETA, come at me, bro. I don't give a fuck. I blame the fucking gorilla for the fall of society.
It's all that damn monkey's fault.
God damn dirty ape! Ah, fucking movie rip. Love it.
Hell yeah.
What I'm here for. I'm here for movie references, baby.
They blew it up. you,
Same, same.
you bad man.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, like that is the first time I remember the internet being fucking like massively divided about shit, and like everybody was just like stating their fucking worthless opinion. Like
Yeah.
you don't know anything.
It so
Like, the news story was not like gorilla killed today because vicious mother threw her fucking child into the fucking gorilla pen. Like that wasn't the story. Like what the
my so I remember I had an opinion when I was younger that um, the reason that people kind of are the way they are, and this was more of a theory. This is nothing that like I could back up. I'm like, okay, like the reason that people kind of suck, and the reason that people are the way they are, is was access to information. Like that was my thought.
yeah.
Now that the internet has been around, that was clearly not the problem. Um, uh, people have unlimited access to information. They still choose to be complete fucking mouth breathers. Um,
Yeah, it's very true.
well,
Like they don't even do any research before they start going off.
it's like people have. I mean, it's partially our school. It's a lot of different things, but like people have no idea how to process information. Like they think that they do, they don't. Like the the amount of work that like goes into like actually understanding how the world works is way too difficult for like being informed enough to speak on essentially any subject is it is bold to say the least. Like
Yeah.
like even the smartest people in the world all say the same thing, which is it's like I'm an expert on this and I barely understand it. Like
Right.
and then
Yeah.
you have people who have, worked in an office their whole life who are like trying to explain like quantum physics on the internet. It's like shut your dick sucker.
Yeah.
It's like
You. Oh, thank you. Thank you, person that put my French fries into a fucking container.
yeah.
Yeah, I value your opinion on fucking gorillas so much.
Yeah. It's
Thank God for you.
yeah.
Thank God for you. I
It
would be lost.
I
Like,
mean
what the fuck? Do
it's
some goddamn research. Like, just do some research and then make an informed decision. If you feel the same after that, fucking state your case. Is there a precedence for this? Like, let me know, and
yeah.
I will fucking. I'll be like, you know what? You got a point.
Yeah.
But if you're just gonna spew off,
No, yeah. No
you know,
no shot.
it's the
They
same.
they have
Yeah, it's the
no
same
idea
thing
what they're
when people
talking
try to
about.
talk politics with me. I was like, are you fucking retarded? I'm
Yes.
gonna sit here and just. I'm gonna bash both sides, and it's gonna frustrate you to no end because you're gonna keep talking because you just want me to admit that you're right.
Yeah. It's like you
And they
don't
don't. I'm like, nah, your person's a piece of shit, and I guarantee you, at some point, as at least gave a fucking minor at least a swipe,
yeah.
like just get a quick finger swipe. Like I guarantee you, they have. They're all pieces of shit, and they don't care about you. Like that's the reaction they get out of me, and then they don't even get mad about it. You can see the level of frustration, but they just keep saying the same shit over. And I'm like, look, man, if you want to scream into the void, it's fine. I'm just telling you that everybody.
Yeah, like nobody like it's like nobody cares. All of like it's the most frustrating like politics is the whole thing is like massively corrupt, massively ridiculous, and like nobody ever gets bent out. And here's the reason why they get away with it and why people don't get bent out of shape. It's because they don't know. It's because it's because the news doesn't do a good job of explaining it, and even if the news did, it's not like these people could understand it. Like they'd be like, and because it's their team, they'd be like, oh, well, they're going to give them every benefit of the doubt when it's like clear corruption and like
Oh,
complete
well,
and like completely insane. So like I hate talking politics because it
yeah.
doesn't it
Here's,
essentially doesn't matter what you say, you're wrong. Like
yeah, yeah. You know what was funny is I remember back when fucking Trump was running against Hillary,
yeah,
right? And there was all this shit about like I worked in the you know I worked in a job where it required me to have a pretty goddamn high security.
yeah,
So speaking from at least some experience, I I know that I know for a fact that as minor as the fucking general public would like to think it is because she's on her team, Hillary Clinton deserves to be in level for her handling are like classified materials.
yeah,
And you know why? The only reason she's not is because she's on another tier of the justice system that I am not.
yep,
Otherwise, because if I would have pulled the same shit, I would be in prison.
yep,
She's just on a different level of the justice system.
yeah.
Now,
That
and I tried to explain that to people, and I was like, that is why, in good conscience, I cannot vote. And people were trying to explain to me how it wasn't a big deal, and I'm like, have you ever even had a secret clearance, let alone a top secret SCI or whatever? No. Okay, then shut the fuck up.
yeah, it's like
And then these same people, years later, when Trump, they found shit in like a bathroom in Mar-a-Lago or whatever, she was like, "Oh, well, what do you have to say about your boy?" I'm like, "Well, let's pump the brakes. One, he's not my boy. Fuck that asshole. Two, now that he's done it, guess what I want? And his ass to live with, right next to her. They can be cellmates for all I give.
yeah,
Like like I didn't like they're trying to like trap me into thinking like, oh well, look now. I'm like, you've got it all mistaken.
yeah,
I don't not a supporter of this man. I was just making a factual statement about this particular candidate that happened to be on the team.
yeah,
Now that I know he is guilty of very similar or the same shit,
right,
send his ass to prison. But he won't because they won't because he's rich
yeah. It like
and he's a former president. Like that's where I'm and that's where people fuck me up all the time when they try to come at me. I'm like, you're not you're hearing what you wanting.
yeah,
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
it's like
Like and it's very very
like the fact that people are like so and it's I think it speaks to how rigged the game is and how kind of like I don't know if it's but like look at all these activists who are like at each other's throats who are like you know middle class or low class and it's like you understand that this is exactly what the people who are above the law want.
what. Yeah,
It's like
they want
it's like
it to be as divided as it is.
it's like we are fighting each other over like
Nothing.
the shells of peanuts that are thrown on the ground. It's like, don't get me wrong, like, the whole trans issue like might be important to you and this that and the other. It's like and like people are getting up in arms and losing their shit about it. And it's like, yeah, but like both sides that are pro and against it in our highest form of government are insanely corrupt. And like
Yeah.
and like all these things that like actually matter. Like end of the day. Somebody trans playing basketball doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. It
Yeah.
just does not.
It does.
Broad strokes does not matter. It's like the fact that we allow systemic, endured corruption at the highest level of government, and anyone with a fucking brain can see it, and no one seems to give a fuck. Like, that's what drives me insane. Like, these people who are like,
Oh, yeah.
These people who are like super political, people that talk politics all the fucking time, they never bring up how obviously and hilariously corrupt the system is. And
That's just, dude. All they are sports nerds, just not for sports.
yeah,
That's all they are.
yeah, they just
That's all
weren't
they
they
are.
weren't
That's
jocks in
it.
high school. They can't throw a ball.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's
Those people that are like that, they're just sports fans, just not for
oh,
sports.
that's what we should
That's all it
do.
is.
We we should
What?
figure out how to do like a fantasy league for politicians.
Oh, like who's gonna touch a child next?
No, find like a scoring system or like from like committees that they're on and shit, and like have like a fantasy league, and like wins losses from like legislature and like dumb shit that they say, and like do it week to week. If we could
Oh my God,
if we could figure that
that'd be
out and
funny.
turn
If we
that
could
into an
figure it
app,
out.
we'd make a killing.
Yeah, we would fuck it. Yeah, we would be rich. Copyright Buddy and Kitty. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Listeners.
You know what? No, not even copyright. Just give us a cut. Just just give us a cut. You
That's
make
true.
it.
That's true. I'll take this
You make
residual.
you make it.
residual pay.
I won't even take a
do
lot.
that.
Like, give us 5%. That's all we want. That's for
Yeah,
you.
That's it. I'll
Just
take
cut-
5. Yeah, the rest for you.
Yeah, cut us in. Let us know. But yeah, fantasy football for politics. You're welcome, app designers.
I know, right? You heard it here first.
Yeah. Figure out a way to for a point system and how to like gamble on that. Fucking everybody and their like, can you imagine these fucking assholes being able to like hold up their phone and it's like, oh, look at my guys, they're beating the shit out of your guy. They would love that shit. They'd be creaming their fucking jeans about it.
Oh my God, you'd have fucking screenshots on Facebook all over the place and fucking. Oh
Yeah.
God, I would. You know what? What? I want somebody to make it and give us a cut just so we can make that fucking sweet Skrilla. But at the end of the day, it would also.
Oh yeah,
like the result of it would make me extremely angry.
It would be wildly upsetting.
But if I was rich and I didn't give a fuck and I was cut off basically from the world anyway, I probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, I mean, it would make us so rich that we could probably get away with touching children. Finally!
Finally, we made it.
We did
it. Dream.
We did it. I'm gonna buy a kindergartner and do crack off of them.
Who wants to eat sushi off this naked 14-year-old?
Oh, me! Yo, I'm gonna hang out with Kevin Spacey. It's gonna be the shit.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
I can't wait.
Oh man, we're on our way, man. We're on our way.
Oh, we are about to be on our nefarious shit.
Oh man. If I had a love.
I can't hear you. What are you saying?
I said if I had a fucking bunch of money, I would hope that nobody really knew it. I mean, I would buy ridiculous shit too, though. So maybe I don't think I would have like a mansion. I'm not trying to maintain that house. I'm not trying to create more work for myself with like companies and shit. Like, I'm gonna be like that more of a. It'll be nice. My life will be good. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a sizable house, but I don't need a wing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the west and east wings of a house. Like, I don't need it.
Yeah, right.
But
no one would know.
I just fucking disappear. I mean, you might know if you see me in like a 1966 Batmobile rolling down the street. You'd be like, all right, he's got it.
Again, people would know because somebody would fuck up my burger and I'd buy the restaurant and close it down. Like, there would be signs, obviously.
Yeah. You'd never would.
I would never be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm crazy rich. No, no. You don't need to know that. That's none of your business.
You don't at all. Yeah. my bankroll. Your fucking goddamn business.
Oh my god. Kevin hanging out with Kevin Spacey.
You know what's fucked up is like probably like the past two podcasts. Like, how impactful is Kevin Spacey been as an actor? Considering we brought him up at least 5 to 6 times.
Like,
Like, so that sucks that he's a creep.
here's the funniest thing is that like I haven't thought about Kevin Spacey
A while. Like when you
yeah.
talk about like the '90s movies and shit, like there's a lot of really good movies that you just can't get away from.
Yeah, you're like, oh
like, I love
shit.
the movie.
Like he's in a
It's not
lot
even
of
from the
stuff.
'90s. It's not even from the '90s. I don't know if you've seen Baby Driver, but that movie is fucking dope.
Yeah,
And he's good in it.
Yeah.
That movie is really, really good. And like now I have to recommend it to people with the caveat of like, hey man, this Baby Driver movie is fucking awesome. Like the soundtrack is like a character. It's fucking awesome. It's really creative. It's really fun. You're gonna love it. But
I'm sorry.
Kevin Spacey's in it, so you're gonna have to get around that.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna love that, or maybe you will. Who can say for sure?
Who's to say? Maybe you're a politician or
yeah, maybe
part of Drake's crew.
Yeah, are you part of Drake's crew? You might love it.
Yeah, I love the fact that Kevin Spacey. But yeah, it's that's good.
Yeah, the fact that he's it's weird because he's been like so shut down and just like disappeared that that like you kind of forget
Think
about it.
Yeah, no, I do too. Until I see him on screen, like in just casually like watching movies or whatever. If he's like, or we're talking about like The Usual Suspect,
yeah,
like something, and it comes up, then I remember. I was like, oh yeah, but it's Kevin Spacey, wonderful actor, but he's a Christian.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that he's a monster.
Yeah, I forgot he sucks out loud. But yeah, no, you know what? I'd rather him just be Ghost and me have the me thinking that he's a creep every once in a while than him like speaking out trying to defend himself. I'm glad he's just like gone.
Yeah, that he just that we don't have to, because like that would be the thing.
I don't have to deal with it.
Well, and you'd have all these fucking morons who would be like out there pounding on the table for him because
to cancel Spacey. It's like that's already happened.
oh, I don't mean to cancel Spacey. I mean you'd have people who are like in his corner. Oh
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. It would be.
Those fucking goblins. Like that, like it's like because I do understand it for like when it comes to like Cosby, for example, or even
America's Dad.
Well, yeah, I mean, for certain Americans that hit way too close to home. But like I have to say, and it is like I do understand it, but it's also a little disappointing, is that like Black America does a really bad job of getting rid of the bad actors in their community. Like they and I get it. It's that they think, whether it's, whether they're conscious of it or not, you got this guy who finally got a spot in, the system that is very much against them, and they think that if that black guy gives it up, it's never coming back to another black person. It's like an understandable fear to have.
I mean, it makes sense.
But I think it exacerbates the problem because like the fact that you're allowing this person to like still exist in niche culture is it's not good. Like it is a bad it is a very bad reflection. Like the fact that pretty much all of white America had like sworn off R. Kelly, and like Black America was still like super down with him until he went to jail. Essentially, it's like yo,
Right.
what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what is going on here that you're okay with this? And it blew my mind that it took so long for people to distance themselves. But again, I do understand it to a certain degree. It doesn't mean it's okay, but
Right.
and like I think it is kind of funny, like, you know, that it does show the damage that has happened over time, because like if we're being honest, like we're the first Gen X and millennials, we're the first generation who has kind of accepted everybody, no caveats, like pretty much universal.
Our generation is the Lucy of real life,
Well,
the
yeah,
Lucy McLean of real life.
yeah, we're the first generation that never had any kind of racist nonsense built into the system. So like people are like, "Oh, this is done. Why are we having this conversation?" It's like cuz it's not that old. That's why we're still talking about it,
Yeah.
idiot. Like
Right.
like this is still very fresh, and like yeah, of course black people are worried that it could go away. Like that is a very fair fear to have. But it's also like I think the other part of that is the fear that it's going to go away and it's never going to come back, I think is a ridiculous fear to have. It's like
Hmm.
the coolest people on the planet are almost universally black. Like
Oh, that's true.
like who is like these are the people who like decide what style and culture is. Like I find it difficult to believe that America, even like staunchly white America, is all of a sudden gonna be like, no, we're gonna do our own thing. But I mean, then again, there are white corners again in the NFL, so maybe they do have something to worry about. Maybe I'm wrong. I never thought I'd see another white corner in the NFL. Never.
They kick around every now and again, but I can't remember one that was like a fucking like superstar.
Yeah, like
Like
a high draft pick white corner. I never thought I'd live to see the day.
it's hysterical. Because even though I obviously watched a bunch of tape and they took him in the first round and everything, I
Mm.
was like, I remember when Christian McCaffrey came, like, and I was like, fantasy football. I did have interest because he looked like a good player.
Mm.
Like I'm not blind, but at the end of the day, it's the NFL, and I saw him, and I was like, he is a running back, and he is white. So I was like, this probably isn't gonna go. Like I took him in a few. Like I think I had him in a couple places. God damn, I had opportunities almost across the board that I find. Like that guy is unreal. But and this is somebody like, granted, yes, I know, as Ryan will say, he'll automatically be like, "You're half Cuban." I get it, but I'm not like I don't even speak Spanish. I'm a white man,
As
more or less, at least in the state of Florida.
according to the state of Florida, you are a white guy. And as you have put
Yeah,
it
he's just,
at more than one time,
Ben Affleck.
you're false advertising.
Yeah, I'm Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Uh, but but yeah, I was like, I was racist against white people. I was like, nah, this fucker's white. I was like, he might be okay. And yeah, he's fucking incredible. I didn't draft Christian McCaffrey in a lot of places because I was nervous because he was a white running back.
You're like, I don't know about this cracker.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work out.
That's fair.
Hold on, buddy. Keep talking. I'll rejoin the call. My boss is calling me.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so I I understand the concern, but like, I mean, there were there were black people that were like not swearing off like OJ, and that it's just insane to me that it's like, look, again, the damage might just be done. Like, and again, it's not like we've had not a lot of time has passed in order to heal. Like, there are people who their grandparents, were like segregation was part of their life. Like, maybe some older parents, probably not. But yeah, I mean, there's a sizable amount of people who still remember whites only and colored locations. So I think it's, I mean, there are people who are like, oh, they should get over it. I think that's an insane stance to take, of being like, oh, they should be over it by now. It's like, not enough time has passed. It's like this is not a done thing. Like, we have not integrated enough. Like, how many people are still out there? I mean, maybe not being honest about it, but how many people do you know that you can think about where if their daughter came home with a black dude that they'd lose it? I mean, my wife, I was just my wife's, when she talks about stories of her childhood, every single one is chilling and awful. So, so stories that my wife tells about her childhood, they're always terrible. She's like, "Oh yeah, hey, do you want to hear about this thing that happened to me when I was a kid?" It's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Tell me about something that's going to ruin my fucking day. Let me know what's going on." So like, she asked me. She was like, "Hey, would your mom have let you invite black kids to your birthday party?" And I looked at her. I'm like, "Yeah." What? I'm like, "What the fuck are you?" And she's like, "Yeah, my parents, when she's like, one of her like best friends when she was like in elementary school, middle school, was black, and she wasn't allowed to invite them to her birthday party."
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, gee, I'm like, good lord. I'm like, what the fuck? And
And
like, and
I have to say, man, I just can't even, like, I sometimes, like, as stupid as the whole racist thing is to me on like fundamental level, like it just is fucking worthless.
yeah, it's so dumb.
Because I mean, it's just so stupid, based on like fucking skin color
Yeah,
because you were born closer to the equator. It's fucking ridiculous,
yeah, you're
and
gonna hit.
it's so stupid. And the problem with me too is, like, obviously I understand it. I don't think I'm a dumb person, but I was a military bro. Like, everybody else me when I grew up in Hawaii and Japan, almost everybody was brown except me.
Yeah,
Like, I've never experienced like real shit. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that's why, like, when I see it, I obviously have a distaste for it, and I don't fuck with people that are truly racist at all. Like,
yeah.
I don't not fuck. You're not my cup of tea because I
Because
grew up
you're
around
weird.
a lot of different.
Because you're
Yeah,
really fucking, on top of everything
yeah,
else, you're weird. That is a weird stance to have.
it really is. It's just, I just can't. I don't have any fucking time for you, and I can't fucking even relate to it. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the fucking answers to cure this much history. I'm just saying the way I was brought up and the environment I was brought up in. Like, it wasn't. There was nothing. Probably the closest thing to fucking actual racism that I've ever experienced in my life towards me is when we went on a field trip to both ground zeros, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and on one of them, this like really old lady who probably remembers this shit, fucking like very intentionally like ran her little cart or whatever into me and then walked away giving me a dirty look. And I was just some white teenager. But at the end of the day, I understand that, and to an extent, even though obviously had dick to do with that, I understand. But
It
like
was
that is
you. You
probably
did it.
yeah. But it's I mean, at the end of it, I wasn't like mad at the lady. Like
Yeah.
I understand she was very old. Like I guarantee. I'll put it to you this way. I would literally bet everything that I own, and I will gladly slap my wonderful girlfriend right in the face on TV if she's not dead. Like she was very old. Like she's not alive.
Yeah, no
So I
shot.
get it.
She's
Like,
around.
she no shot. She is fucking long gone, just because gracefully with time. She was
Yeah.
an old lady when she did this, and so different time. And she just saw young Ben Affleck like rolling around the Ground Zero museum and decided to take her shot. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't have any hate or ill will towards her or anything like that. Japanese people are fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
Like in my experience, like that, like they're just insanely nice.
Yeah.
As a whole. So I mean, but yeah. Other than that, I've never experienced. Like most of my friends, like of some way, black, Filipino, Japanese, fucking you name it. I had white friends too, but I'll be honest with you, there wasn't like a fuck ton of us around.
Not
like I mean, like as far as the kids, like the white kids, we were the fucking minority, which was fine because nobody fucking gave a shit. Everybody's in the same boat. Like, what are you gonna do? Be racist and fucking have no friends? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's just people.
I just can't wrap my head around it. I guess what I'm saying.
I mean, to me, people that are legitimately racist, like they're just sad. Like their lives didn't go the way that they wanted them to, and they're just looking to blame somebody for it. Like that's it. That's all. Like they're just mad that
they're just mad at life.
Yeah.
So they got to do something with it, right?
Yeah, they're just mad that so they're gonna blame somebody that looks different from them. That's it. It's not. It's.
I guess it is that. I guess it, to a certain extent, could be broken down.
Yeah, it's like if you're
I mean, because it just doesn't. Nothing else adds up.
Yeah, if you're legitimately racist, it's because you're a loser. Like it's because your life didn't work out. And instead of becoming a conspiracy theorist, you became a racist. Like those are the two paths that you go down. Like if your wife leaves you and takes the kids, you either become a racist or you start thinking that the moon isn't real. Those are the two paths that you can go down. Those are the two options.
You can either just be viewed as a hateful bigot or a maniac.
Or a maniac, yeah. Or you can handle it like a fucking adult,
adult. Yeah, exactly.
That the rarely used third option.
It's just all.
It's that shit
it's
is
just so all.
So it doesn't. It's like Bill Burr said. He's like, I just think racism doesn't scan. Like that's his bit. He's like, it just doesn't scan for most people. Like, it just doesn't make sense to most people. Yeah. That it's just like look, if I'm gonna hate you, it's gonna be for way better reasons than the color of your skin.
Your skin color.
if I'm going to hate you, I'm gonna dig down and I'm gonna hate you for the true reprehensible piece of shit that you are at your core.
Yeah, no, no, I've I've said it a long time. Like, I mean, even like people like when we go to like, you know, the drag queen bingo, like motherfuckers go like, we feel gay. I'm like, I'm there with my girlfriend. We're having a good fucking time.
Yeah,
You know, drinking and playing fucking bingo with this fucking ridiculous person making jokes and crude jokes on bingo.
yeah,
It's just a fun way to play this old person game.
yeah,
I was like, and like people get all like bent out of shape out. I'm like, why do you fucking care how these people like what they do behind closed doors?
yeah. Who
Like I said,
cares?
unless it's way for pedophilia, you know what? I don't like everybody in that, and I stay away from them. And
Yeah,
I've openly said I do not like this person at all. They are pieces of shit, and they are a gamer. And that's a very, it's a very. You might not want to say that if you're in a game. You openly don't like people, but I have enough goodwill that they know I'm not a hateful prick. That I don't like him. It's not that I don't like him because he likes other men. I don't like him
because
he's a
he's an
piece of shit.
asshole.
He's an asshole, and I just don't like him. Like I don't fucking care. Like I don't care. I don't care who he's married to or dates or whatever. As long as it's not a 14-year-old, I don't give a shit. Like, what do I care? Like, are you somebody that I get along with, or are you somebody that I'm like, nah, son, you suck out loud.
Yeah, you're a
That is
piece of
it. It's
shit, and fuck you.
what I say about you has nothing to do with your sexuality or your skin color. It has everything to do with your personality.
Yeah,
So if I don't like you, I am attacking your personality.
yeah. I am attacking who you are and what you stand for as a human. Like,
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
you're a piece of shit, and I don't care if you live or die.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much
Yeah, but
it's pretty much the cut and dry of it for me, if I'm being honest with you. So that's why I don't get any of the rest.
yeah, the
It's just so confusing to me, and like it's not that I don't think any of these like issues matter or anything like that. It's of course they do because people are dealing with this this is a very real part of their life.
yeah,
Of how they're treated in public and how they live their life, which I cannot relate to. I understand that it's serious. It's just when I'm personally thinking about it as a person, I just don't ever
it just
get why they have to live that. Like it makes no sense.
yeah, it's like why does this make sense to people is what blows my
Yeah,
mind. It's like and then like I like cuz the Israel Palestine stuff that's going on right now. It's like
right,
it's like people are being wildly anti-Semitic right now, and
right.
I'm just like yo, how do you think this is okay? And like the funniest thing to me, the thing that makes me laugh the hardest is that you've got these super liberal colleges that are protesting for Palestine. And I'm like, you know that if you're a woman protesting for Palestine, they like wouldn't let you go to school, right? Like
They actually don't want
it's
this.
it's insane to me. The whole thing is hilarious to me. It's just
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
and people want to feel important.
Like,
They want to feel important. They
they,
don't have. They're not thinking things through. They're like, yo, son, I really need to get on this active keyboard activist train so I too can seem important
do
to
you
my friend.
know the absolute fucking teardown that so this was a guy who I think he was either a professor or part of the admissions board at Yale, is some, dumb shit college student who was accepted at Columbia who this went through. Um she essentially said that them not bringing them the student meals that they paid for was like a war crime or something equally stupid. Essentially, they had taken over a building and they wanted the police and administration to accommodate them because they didn't want to be uncomfortable. Very funny because like older people that agree with her point of view like were not sympathetic. They're like first rule activism always bring snacks.
Yeah, bring
But
snacks.
like this guy this guy from Yale apparently woke up and chose violence and chose to beat the hell out of everyone because he's like this is textbook a person who has never had their views challenged or questioned in their entire life. And he's like, more importantly, he's like, I don't understand how Columbia's admissions board allowed her to be accepted. Because they do not seem very intelligent. And I'm like, oh my god! Fucking roasting her, roasting a rival Ivy League school. I'm like, damn, you woke up and went for the throat on everybody, sir.
Hey, dude, we say it all the time. We're playing video games, or at least you do. Everybody gets a taste.
Everybody gets a taste. People were catching strays that day. I'm like, god damn. But I was laughing my ass off when I saw that. I was like, holy shit.
I like that.
I love it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, do it to him. Go for it.
Yeah, fucking get him. Yeah, get him. That's all.
Yeah, I love that shit. I love when people that should be smarter than that aren't. I love that shit. Like, it's like you are in a school that like requires you to be like one of the smartest people in our society, and it's like, and you're a fucking idiot. Like, I love it. It makes me so happy inside, especially because like I don't.
Smart doesn't always equate to smart.
Well,
I think those are two very different.
It makes me happy because I don't have a degree.
Right.
I have nothing, which is very funny because when my bosses at the hospital found out about that, they weren't too pleased about that fact because they were like, it came up and I forget what we were talking about, but I was like, because they said something along the lines of, oh, well, everyone's got a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, I don't have a bachelor's degree. And they're like, oh, yeah, but you got your associates. And I'm like, I don't have my associate's degree. And they're like, I'm pretty sure you said in your interview that you had a degree. And I'm like, no, I implied I had a degree. I'm like, I never.
Totally.
Yeah, I never say that I have a degree. I'm very careful about that. Will I?
I love it. No, it would be great if you were like, stick.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the most incompetent, like, leaders and managers I've ever had have, like, been overeducated. It's like, like, needing, and I'm glad that this is going away, it's like, a degree requirement for things that isn't, like, obviously you need a degree to be a doctor, but, like, do you need a degree to, be a manager of, like, like, just from my past? Do you need a degree to be a manager of an X-ray department? Like, what are they teaching you in college that's going to be more helpful than actual experience? Nothing. There's nothing. Like,
yeah.
it's like
I don't have a degree, and I'm working in my field.
yeah, I got my like I still have my GI Bill just like sitting there,
Yeah.
and my mom and my sister for a
Well,
while.
you can. I'm pretty sure you can just pass that to your daughter. She could use it.
I have a Purple Heart, so I my her school's already covered through
Oh,
that.
I have a purple heart.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck
sorry
up.
that you forgot that I'm an American hero and that America is growing because of the blood of patriots like myself. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you. Evan John's gaslighting you guys.
yeah, no, no,
I forgot. I did. I'm sorry, man. And
yeah,
like,
you
it's
should
kind
be.
of funny because I know I should be, and I do
No, you
apologize
shouldn't
because
be. I'm laughing my
I've
ass
told,
off.
I've told multiple people, uh, when I've described, the people that have met you and whatever, and my nephew. I've mentioned your Purple Heart. When I'm physically talking to your dumbass, I forget all the time that you have
Oh
that,
my
which is like a fucking really good honor. And I always forget that you fucking have it.
my buddy Matt. Pretty much every time we go out or go out drinking, he's like, I fucking because he is like he's pretty liberal, but also he's like a very proud American kind of thing. He's hilarious. I love the
Right,
guy.
right.
But Matt always brings up. He's like, I fucking hate that you are an American hero. He's like, I despise it. He's like, you have no idea how annoying it is to me. He's like, because he's like, I know that you don't give a fuck. He's like, I know it. He's like, I know that you barely care. He's like, I hate it. It's so annoying. And I'm like,
Oh, I love it. It makes me happy. It makes me so happy. I love it. I love that you have a Purple Heart. It makes me so happy.
so, but yeah, I mean, my mom and my sister they wanted me to go back to school, and they're like, you should really get your bachelor's degree. I'm like, why? I'm like, for what reason? Why? I'm like, and they're like, they weren't able, and they stopped bothering me because they didn't have a good reason. I'm
A
like,
good answer.
I'm like, I'm like, it. Why? I'm like, it's like based on my personality. Like, I'm never gonna get promoted in like, because I was working at the hospital at the time. It's like I'm never gonna
Right.
get promoted in like a normal job anyway because of the way that I am. So it's like, I'm not going to get promoted anyway. So like why? I don't need it. I don't want it. Like if these people if they did want to promote me, let's just say, and their holdup is that I don't have a bachelor's degree, then there is no way that I respect them enough to like go out and get a bachelor's degree for them. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. It's like I mean it's just dumb. It's so stupid. I'm I am so glad that I live in a state that is dropping so many of those requirements because they're stupid. They're so
Yeah.
stupid. Like
No.
the field that my wife is in right now is normally or up until a little while ago, you would have needed a degree in I just lost the name in social work. Like
Okay.
there aren't enough social workers. We're desperate for them. Like there just aren't enough, and not enough people are going to school for it. So like we have the metrics that like even if everyone that went to school for social work finishes it, gets into the field and like stays in the field, which is obviously not anyone, and social work has a massive attrition rate. Like we'd still be hurting for social workers. Like we need them desperately. So what the state of Pennsylvania did was they dropped a lot of the requirements and made up like other roles. So like my wife right now is her title is like peer support counselor, but
Right.
she has the same job and responsibilities as a social worker. There's just a couple of things that a social worker can do that she can't. But like
Right.
95% of the job, she's doing the exact same thing. And right now it's a pilot program. So like right now my wife isn't she's not a federal or state employee. But if this all works out and turns out to be a good idea, she will be eventually.
Right.
And it makes sense. It's like, okay, well, like, we don't have enough social workers, so I'm so glad that like somebody actually smart instead of somebody that just has a degree was in enough power that they were like, hey, how much of this
This is tough.
like well how much of this is
We need one more.
like how much of this is required schoolwork? Like how much of this is actually needed for you to accomplish this job and how much isn't? And let's figure out a way to fill this gap that we need filled by getting good people who can learn the job in. Because I mean, that's really all a bachelor's degree is is telling the person hiring you is, hey, they were smart enough to be able to be taught at this level. That's all a bachelor's degree is doing. So
Right.
so like, is it so crazy to like take a risk on someone and be like, hey, I think that you're smart enough to learn this job? I mean, that's what happened with all the boomers is they didn't have these ridiculous degree requirements, so they were able to like move up in the world and like better their position. Where for our generation, like it just didn't exist. And it's why it's why the student loan forgiveness really rubs me the wrong way. A lot of people assume that it's because I'm a vet and you know if you wanted a free education, that there was a way to do it. So the reason it bugs me is because I know so many people who came from like a bad family dynamic and like they weren't able to go to college, or they did the math and like it just made more sense for them to get right into the workforce. So like the fact that they're forgiving these loans, mind you, these loans are not fair. I think they're the worst thing and like just handcuffing our entire generation. I think they're bad. Don't get me wrong. However,
Right.
I do feel that is very much a rich get richer scenario. It's like, well, you had the opportunity and the ability to go to college. So like that's already an advantage that you had. And now the only downside of going to school, which was the money, is no longer a problem. I'm like, that's really unfair. That it's like you already have an advantage from having that degree, and now you're going to have an even bigger advantage on people that weren't able or didn't make that choice. And had they known that they weren't going to have to pay for it, they probably would have gone too. So
Right.
it's like I'm very conflicted about the student loan forgiveness because on one hand, I think it's terrible that this happened, but on the other hand, it's really unfair to the people who weren't able to go or chose not to. And like that's where I stand on it. My opinion and what I think should happen is, if this does go through, like say student loan forgiveness goes through, something that will annoy me, don't get me wrong. I think that obviously like a federal loan, like they can forgive that totally. But if they're also helping people with private loans, I think that it's like, hey, if 10 grand of a private loan for school is forgiven, I think I should get $5,000 in any private loan that I've taken, whether it's school or not. Like, I think if people that were given the advantage of going to college get a windfall, I think everybody should get something. Like, okay, like, you don't have to pay for your school anymore. Like, I'd love to not have to pay for my fucking house anymore. Like,
Yeah.
like, why do you get a windfall because because of the choices that you made and nobody else does? Especially when people might not have been able to make that choice. Like my wife and her best friend, like, you think they didn't want to go to college? They absolutely wanted to go to college. But because their families were a fucking wreck, they couldn't get loans. They couldn't go. So it's that annoys me about the student loan thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
But people do think that it annoys me because of the GI Bill thing. I'm like, I don't give a fuck less. I don't care. Like, I'd already been to school. It was like, it was paid for. Like, I didn't have any debt. I was fine. Like, it's like so, yeah. So I don't give a shit about that. And it's funny because everybody that I've talked to and have like explained that to them, that because they are obviously kids that have student loans, and they're like, yeah, and they're like, a lot of them are like, I never thought about it like that. Like, that is a really good point. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because it's not fair. Like, the whole thing isn't fair. The fact, like, I think it's fucked up that you can't declare bankruptcy and get rid of your student loans. Like, that's how you know that they knew that these loans were insanely predatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, you think that every millennial wouldn't finish school and immediately declare bankruptcy. Like, if you're going back to living at home anyway, like, that bankruptcy stigma that, like, hurts you, that's only attached to you for, like, 5 years. Like, that's how long it lives on your credit score. So, like, if you're going back home anyway, like, boom, you're, like, and they know it. They know that's what people would do. They'd immediately declare bankruptcy and be fine. And, like, that's the only thing that I think they should change. I think they should retroactively be like, hey, you can declare bankruptcy on these loans, and watch everyone declare bankruptcy overnight. Like, and that's what I think they should do. I don't think they should be paying out. I don't think they should be forgiving these things. I think they should be like, hey, we're going to give protection to the banks and these businesses to a certain degree, but you can now declare bankruptcy on these. And watch it, and just watch it happen. I think that is the fairest way to go about it. And, yeah, and tons of people will. Tons of people will just declare bankruptcy. It'll be hilarious to me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, because that's what a lot of people that are, like, bilingual and and that the U.S. banking system doesn't have a super huge hold, like, it's it might be Italy. I can't remember which country it is, but this one guy he went to med school in the United States, racked up like $250,000 in debt, and then went to Italy and just opened new bank accounts, and it doesn't affect his credit score because that's not how their system works. And he's like, yeah, I'm just never going to come back to the United States. I'm never paying this loan off. And I'm like, that is intensely funny to me. That's just like, yeah, no. I'm not paying this off. I'm never going to. And you can eat shit. How about that?
This is a big bag of fucking dicks.
Yeah. How about you do that?
You go fuck yourself.
I love it. I think it's so I think that's so funny and such a good fuck you to the whole system of being like, "Oh, you know, because this is a system that would leap at being able to fuck you over at every possible turn."
Yeah.
So so when people get the better of it, I love it. It makes me so
Oh yeah,
happy.
no, it's so. To me, it is so much fun. Like, damn, the man's like power, right?
Yeah. I don't it's like I don't care. Like
About it.
yeah, it's like like people got I remember when I was working, like people used to get bent out of shape because people would like stay late and get like overtime and all this other people. And this is like other people. And like I was in a position because as much as they didn't like me, I was extremely capable. So
Yeah.
so like I was in charge of X-ray up in the OR when it was my shift. So like the guy who was in charge during the day, he liked to wrap up his cases because like he was, he's the guy that's always up there. He's really tight with all the surgeons, and he just it's just how it is. So he would stay late, and people would get bent out of shape about it, and I'd immediately come at them super hard. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't know that you paid his paycheck. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, I'll make sure to run it through you next time. And I don't understand why people are like, it's like, if you want to stay late, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's not my problem. I'm not your boss. You're not his boss. Why the fuck do you care? Like,
Yeah.
and like, and I got it. And again, this is me being antagonistic and annoying to my bosses. My bosses are like, they were telling me that it's like, hey, you need to send this guy home. And I'm like, oh, I need to send him home? And I'm like, well, he's helping me finish up cases up in the OR. And there isn't anybody else available to do that because we are short-staffed as hell. And I'm like, you're an X-ray tech. You're here. I'm like, so what you're telling me is you want me to send him home. I'll give you a call. You can change into scrubs. And you can go up there and finish the case. That's what you want me to do? And the immediate tail between their legs, backing down, where they're like, "Oh, we didn't know that there were cases going." I'm like, "You didn't know the cases were going on. You didn't know that I was keeping him here because I had work for him to do and there was no one else." I'm like, "That's what you're gonna try to tell me?" Like, I just immediately came at them super hard, and they weren't expecting it. And it's like, I'm like, shut up. It's like I was working in radiology. Aside from surgery, we're the only other department that makes money for the hospital. As crazy as that is a true statement.
Well, yeah. Well, X-rays are fucking.
Yeah. So it's like, if the fucking bean counters upstairs have a problem with us, we can tell them to fuck off. Because we're the only other department that makes money for this department, or for the hospital. And more importantly, he's explicitly there helping surgery. The people who make the most money for the hospital.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was immediately like, hey, how about you go fuck yourself? Have you thought about that?
Yeah. You might want to try something.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a big step back.
We're there tomorrow for a tournament. I could pick them up. Oh, the Palm City? Okay. All right, and I can just get it from this. All right, there. Sorry, buddy. I just got
I
a
yeah, right.
thing.
You're at work. You have real work to do.
No, it's just like sometimes it's just I know sometimes I sound way more scatterbrained than I probably act. I mean, I am a little, but I'm not this sad as you guys are probably hearing. It's just sometimes I'm literally talking to him and like four other people simultaneously, and I have to type. So I'm sorry if I lose my train of thought or sound ridiculous at moments.
These things happen.
Apologies. Yeah.
I'll never be sorry. Fuck you. But yeah, I find people, especially people that like aren't used to confrontation. I I really love fucking with people that aren't used to confrontation because they immediately just panic and tap out every time. They're just like, "Oh God."
Yeah. Now they become Drake. They're like, I made a mistake.
Yeah, I'm fucked up. Please don't call me a pedophile. You know what? You fuck kids.
No, nothing. There's no coming back from it. Just the fucking accusation is enough to fucking just hate you for life.
Exactly. Especially an accusation that's got like some
Like some
traction.
teeth. Yeah, like some teeth to it. Yeah, for sure. 100%. There's no coming back.
But anyway, on the note of fucking kids, which is what we talk about a lot here, which is weird.
Well, I mean, it's just come up in conversation. I mean, it's got to be somewhat in the limelight right now, right? I mean,
sadly, it's intensely topical.
Yeah, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had plenty of discussions over the years, like fucking thousand live together, whatever. I can't even remember how many. Not a lot. I'll tell you that.
It's not my fault. All these people are banging kids. I'd really like them to stop. I'd love to stop talking about it.
Yeah. I would love for it to not be in the limelight if possible. That would be fucking great.
That would be, it'd be pretty dope if I never had to hear about it again.
Yeah. If we could just get this to fucking stop, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd really appreciate all your weirdos stop banging kids. But on that note, I gotta walk away.
All right, dude.
All right, I'll talk to you later, homie. Hopefully your Albanian earpiece shows up here in a second.
Yeah, we'll see. What is it? I'm guessing it's from Prime.
Yeah, it should be on the way soon.
Good. Yeah, it should probably be here today.
All right.
Today.
All right, homie.
All right, buddy.